Hello, hello, happy time zone one and all. Welcome to today's stream. As always, I am the Formologist and I will be your host for this evening. I am just getting everything set up, at which point we're going to be able to go ahead with our slightly different than normal evening stream. Today, we're going to be playing Wingspan. Now, we've played Wingspan before, or I've played Wingspan before, but today, how we're going to be changing this a little is you guys and gals, everyone, or all of you, can feel free to join in. If you have a copy of Wingspan, you can let me know in chat or DM me. Can't promise I'll see the DMs, but I will try and keep Twitter and Discord open at least a little bit so I get notifications. And you'll then be able to join me in a couple of rounds of Wingspan. We are going to be having a relatively short stream tonight. I'm not pushing at all. I've got an early start at work tomorrow. They're asking me to. There's a demon that needs slaying, so, get me in there, exorcise it, not exercise it. That would be something completely different. But I think, let me get our ads going. Let me get our ads going with our actual command. There we go, we've got the advert break going. So let me go and paste my links for Go Live. So we're posting it on Twitter, as always. We're posting it in my Discord, as always. We're going to post it in Glitches. So I'm going to give a shout out to Glitch Demonoid. You should go check her out. I am actually going to be doing a collab with Glitch on Sunday morning at 6 in the morning, which is 11 hours-ish from now, but on Sunday, not on Saturday. We're also going to be posting it in James's. So if you haven't checked out Sir James Shifter, you should definitely go and check him out and give him a shout out here. Last thing doing Inscription. I'm glad. In the VTuber Bootcamp. Now that's not any one particular VTuber. That's run by Banshee, Artsy Grand, Lieutenant Blythe, and ZenOO. But you should definitely go check the bootcamp if you are at all interested in being a VTuber. And we're also going to stick it in the VTuber Twitter one because it's always good to put it in there. Oh, and we get a couple of retweets, so that's nice. Already get some retweet notifications. Just another couple of seconds left and I've got a whisper come through. Oh wow, I've got people whispering me, asking if I want to buy followers. Cool. Well, we're going to ban you. And who else have we got? Oh, you've come twice. Nice, nice. Let's just trash those messages. I can't, because I've blocked him. Cool. Well, welcome to today's stream. We have now finished our pre-advert break. Oh, no, our pre-stream advert break, I suppose. I'm just going to do a quick check through here, mute this. Okay, cool, we're good to go. Get that popping over. Pop this out. Cool, we are good to go. I hope everybody has had a nice weekend. Not weekend, week. Ignore me, it's been a very, very long day, week. Yeah, let's go with it's been a long week. That's good enough, I suppose. Close that out, we've got this, got that open. And Abstract, congratulations on being the first one in. So I think, perfect time, just finished lunch. That's good, I've just finished dinner. Did you have anything nice for your lunch? For tea tonight, I had leftover roast and potatoes and hot sauce sandwich, that homemade hot sauce I put up on Twitter last week, possibly. It was very nice. It's fermenting a little bit. We deliberately wanted it fermenting. We've not canned it so that we could get that extra flavour come through in it. And it certainly has. It certainly has. Some fries you throw in the air fryer. It's impressive. I've been very interested in getting an air fryer. And fries are always a good lunch. Fries are just always a good meal. Potato, in fact, potato other than boiled potato. Potato other than boiled potato is a good meal. But you know what? We are now, I believe, just crossing over into the 5 minutes worth of stream. Where have you gone, OBS? Yeah, we've just hit 5 minutes. Let's do a quick check of time. 5 minutes, 18 seconds. Kyo, welcome, welcome. Great and no grease on your food. That does sound good. That does sound good. I do like proper crunchy fries. Curly fries. Curly fries are fantastic, but they need to be crisp. And look, you're working. That's completely fair. I can't fault you for going to work. That's very reasonable. So, whack on over to Wingspan. Now, as I've said, I'm completely happy for any of you who want to join in on this. Give me a shout in chat, on Discord, on Twitter. I have all of them open on my secondary screen, so I will see that notification at some point. For those of you who don't want to, you just want to chill and listen to me chat about random bird facts, that's also cool. However, I do need to just go and grab my drink, which I left on the other side of the room, so give me 1 moment to chat. I'm just going to mute myself. Okay, I am back. I am putting my headphones on, and at that point, we're good to go. We've got my drink. I'm ready to stay nice and hydrated, which is good because hydration is super important. I've also got several pages worth of bird facts to amaze and astound all of you with, because I have to admit, birds are pretty interesting. So, let's get started. No one has pinged me anywhere, so we're just going to hop straight into a game. We're going to play a custom game, and we're just going to play against 4 bots. We're going to play against 2 easy, I've got them colour-coded green, and 2 medium, got them colour-coded yellow. Makes it nice and simple for me to tell which ones are which and whether I'm beating them. Now, I really, really like Wingspan. It's a fantastic game. Very, very simple. It's an engine building game, and the engine you build is your bird sanctuary. Now, oh, perfect. Okay. Wow, that's an incredible start. So, Yellow Rumped Warbler has when activated, took a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, draw a card. Now, we can only put the Yellow Rumped Warbler in the green area, the forest. It costs 1 fruit, invertebrate, or grain to play. I'm using entirely the wrong terminology. I'm a 20-year Magic the Gathering player, so you will hear me refer to casting birds and sacrificing birds. Glitch, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to catch you here today. Good afternoon, just about for you, I believe. I hope you're doing well. You've caught me playing competitive bird sanctuary game. We're taking the Yellow Rumped Warbler, which allows us to get some card draw and recycle some cards. We're going to take the Morning Dove. Now, the reason we're going to take the Morning Dove is this can be played anywhere. It costs a single grain, and its ability is to lay an egg on this bird. Combine this with the American Crow, which is discard an egg to gain 1 food from the supply. We have the start of an engine. Now, this engine will only generate 1 food a turn. If we can get anything to spend that food on, and there's plenty that do, we have a solid engine. So we're going to pick these. Now, the Yellow Rumped Warbler takes red, green, and yellow. Morning Dove takes yellow, and the American Crow takes anything. That's why it's got the full colour wheel. So we're going to take the red and the yellow, because we can use the red for 2 of them, and we can use the yellow for 3 of them. Nice and simple. Omnius, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I hope you're doing well. I hope you've managed to get everything all set up for your upcoming stream. You've caught me playing competitive bird sanctuary builder. That's not actually what it's called. It's called Wingspan. But we are competing against, currently, 4 robots to build a bird sanctuary. If any of you want to join in, let me know and we can get you in. Not in this game, but I can just quit and start a new one. There are free versions of Wingspan on Steam. You need to have the right one because it comes in Tabletopia, Tabletop Sim, and base game. I'm playing base game. We now have our 5 things to keep. We're going to progress. And we're going to pick the bird counter. Now, these are your specialism as a bird sanctuary. So we can go for a wetland scientist and aim to collect birds that can only live in the wetland. This is a terrible card because we put other cards in our wetland other than only wetland birds. Bird counter. If we can get 4 flocking birds, which is what this signifies, we beat 5 wetland birds. If we can get 2 flocking, we beat 3 or 4 here. You got a D&D on Silver Session. Oh, wow. Should you be asleep or should you be... Are you nocturnal? Is now your actual sleep time? But I hope you get less groggy. Get some coffee or tea or, failing that, some fresh lemon water or just chilled water into you. I'm doing quite well. Riley, welcome. Yes, today is a burb screen. Wow. We do like birds. I've got plenty of bird facts lined up for everyone. If you have any interesting bird facts, chuck them in chat. We're also going to be reading an excerpt from a interesting scientific article. I say interesting. I find it interesting, talking about birds' feet and convergent evolution. Because I think that's fascinating. It's very interested in all that kind of thing. Nice. Now, we then have everyone else tick through, which is good. Get them to tick through. I don't know why it takes so long. They're all AI. It shouldn't take this long to think. However, a flamingo can only eat with its head upside down. That is an interesting fact. I have another interesting fact about flamingos. Flamingos are not naturally pink. They're only pink because of the coloration in the food that they eat. That's why baby flamingos are grey. I say baby flamingos. Is there a term for a baby flamingo? Other than just baby flamingo? Fletchling flamingos? Fletchling flamingos sounds better, although I'm stumbling over my words a little, and we're only 13 minutes into the stream. So if you feed adult flamingos in captivity uncoloured food, they stay grey. So when you see flamingos in zoos, they have specific colours added to their food pellets to make them pink. That's, I think, another interesting fact about flamingos. Now, it's almost cruel keeping them in captivity, because they need to be kept in captivity because they get hunted and they get eaten. But the third interesting fact about flamingos, because flamingos are fascinating birds, there are more lawn flamingos than real flamingos. I think that's quite an interesting flamingo fact. Feeding them because it sort of is, but at the same point, it would be very, very hard to breed the krill needed to get them that pink colour. And then feed them. Whereas feeding them the colours, yeah, exactly. What you're about to say, feeding them colours it is kind of cruel. It's not even cruel, but it's not... Exactly. It's one of the hard things with keeping animals in captivity, and a lot of animals kept in captivity are kept because they're interesting, they draw crowds, but there has been a movement recently with zoos to start bringing, I suppose, more nature into the enclosures, so that it's not just, oh, here's an elephant in a pit, but here's an elephant in a well-designed enclosure. So you could have a blue flamingo. You probably could have a blue flamingo. Chickens with red earlobes will lay brown eggs. Chickens with white earlobes lay white eggs. I did not know that. That is an interesting fact. You are today's top bird fact person so far. Now, what we're going to do for starting our building. You like these facts? Good, good. We've got plenty more lined up. We're going to start by popping down the American Crow. The reason we're going to put the American Crow down first is when we then take the draw card action, or whenever we take any action, we take the leftmost uncovered. So we'll take a single draw card. You then work left across. So if we put the American Crow and then the Mourning Dove, we would do the Mourning Dove first. The Mourning Dove lay one egg, and then the American Crow discard one egg to draw a food. We're going to pop the bird down, and we're going to play the red to cast that bird. Attract that bird to our sanctuary. Penguins can jump 6 feet. Can they? Again, I didn't know that. There's not any penguins in this one. The bird species in base game for Wingspan are limited to American species only. Now, there's worldwide species. No, I wouldn't think it. I wouldn't think that a penguin could jump 6 feet, but they don't seem particularly jump streamlined. And you're going to have to forgive me for this, but penguins can also jump higher than a house. Because houses can't jump. So for our second action, we laid some eggs on the crow. The reason we laid those eggs is because if we want to put any birds down... Oh, someone's drawn the canvas back. All players draw one from the deck. We got the Great Egret. I think you're lying to me. We're then going to pop down the Mourning Dove. Pay that grain. Pay that egg. And we can now draw 2 cards and gain a food. And this is gain 1 food of any choice. And there we go, that is the perfect card. So, the Canada Goose. The Canada Goose could not have come at a better time. We're going to draw 2 cards. The first one we're going to pick is the Canada Goose. They can jump over 9 foot depending on species. Isn't that something? I did know that thing about owls. I didn't know they were tubular, but I knew they couldn't move their eyes. But tubular eyes is certainly interesting. So Canada Goose. Canada Goose. 1 grain to tuck 2 cards behind it. Now this is a flocking ability. As we had here, our bird counter, we get bonus from having flocking cards. So we get 2 points for playing the goose. Plus 3 points because it's a 3-point card. We also will get a point if we have any eggs on it at the end of the round. Each time we pay this grain to put 2 cards behind it, that's 2 more points. So we're going to pick the Canada Goose. We're also going to pick a random card. We're going to play an egg on the Mourning Dove and discard that egg from the Mourning Dove to gain... I think we should gain a... We're just going to gain a grain, I guess. You don't want to go down the duck's quack, don't echo. But you don't, but there might be some Mythbusters. Yeah, I've seen both ways on duck eggs. Duck eggs, duck quacks. So, the chicken. The chicken has played Anna's Hummingbird. Each player gains 1 food dice from the bird feeder, starting with a player of your choice. Well, we will choose... None of these are beneficial to us. Unless we cast this guy. In which case we will go for the invertebrate. Green. That card benefits everyone, and the AI does use those cards, those birds, for help everyone. Now we're going to pop in the Yellow-Rumped Warbler. The Yellow-Rumped Warbler allows us to tuck a card from our hand behind this bird, and if we do, draw a card. We can also, next turn, if we wanted to, pop the Ruby-Throated Hummingbird down. Now the hummingbirds... thank you for the bits. Maya, welcome to the stream. It's a pleasure to have you. I don't know why sound alert didn't appear here. But yes, hello, welcome to the stream. If you haven't already checked out my... It did! Okay, I just wasn't paying attention. If you haven't checked out Maya, you should go check out Maya. We have also... No, don't shout out myself, that's the wrong person. Go check out Riley. Riley, you've been very nice to have in chat. Maya does fantastic radio shows. I have caught you multiple times with 5, 6, 7 other streamers on your chat. You're wrangling everyone, keeping everyone relatively on topic, I have to say, for that many people. It's great to see. And there we go, we got Riley gone. Riley, I know you're currently taking a break from streaming, but I know that's coming back soon. But yes, you should definitely go check out Maya Neko-chan. Soon. TM. Now, fish don't help us at all. Pomegranate doesn't help us at all. However, we can take that fish anyway, because that means the next player, decorating such a pain. You check that out. Oh, and yes, Omnius. Now, I met Omnius on Reddit. Omnius was asking for info about the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. So, go check out Omnius. Go do the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship, because it is a fantastic way of supporting smaller streamers. Every person who completes the Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship will help push everyone who does it. Pretty much, it's like 3 or 4 subscriptions. It takes about 10 minutes. You should definitely help people. Look, small streamers, we're all in it together. We're all helping each other get to the top. I've met a lot of the people in my chat actually through the VTuber Bootcamp. Now, that is relatively explicitly just VTubers, I think, which is people who don't have a face cam. They are a anime or cartoon character. It doesn't have to explicitly be Japanese cartoons. You can be any form. We have my current dark mode, and we also have anime me. Hello. But the VTuber Bootcamp, great help. I know Artsy Gran Gran is part of it. Artsy Gran Gran, really big help. Banshee, Zeno. You prefer anime for this sort of thing? Well, let me double check. Do I have it turned on? I do not have it turned on. Well, let's go turn that on. Let's go turn it on. We've got a viewer rewards. You can change whether I'm in dark mode or light mode. Oh, it is turned on. Okay. Cool. Yeah, if you want to switch me to anime, you can go pop me on. So a VTuber comes from YouTube. Thank you, Riley. People who are virtual YouTubers. It started with, I believe, Kazuna AI. There we go. Hello. Hello, I am the anime version of the Formologist. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you, Riley. Thank you. And Abstract, welcome back. Dark Form scares you. Dark Form I really liked because I wanted to go for a... I didn't want to go for the standard anime model that a lot of people have, especially when they've gone for the PNG or Live 2D route. I thought I want to go for something slightly different that stands out a little bit. I want something much more grim Western. Western as in Western Europe, not Western as in cowboy. I don't do the yeehaw. My yeehaw is terrible. But we do have Ben the slightly more anime guy, and we do have potential upcoming. You still need to finish your model, yeah. But yeah, So let's draw you and you. Brown pelican. Well, you're both terrible, so yeah, I'll take the chestnut coloured. Lay an egg, discard an egg. We'll gain that grain, and then next turn we a gull. Gull. I want the gull. I want the gull. So yes, no. So the gull. The reason I want the gull. The reason I want the gull is multiple reasons. First of all, the gull costs 2 of anything. Nice and easy to get out. Second of all, it's worth 4 points. Thirdly, it's got 2 egg slots. That's not great. Do you have a background? I do have a background song. Let me turn it up a little. And turn it up here. You cast them like magic. It is not at all like magic. It's just I'm absolutely terrible at remembering it because I play a lot of Magic the Gathering outside of streaming. I talk about casting birds, discarding eggs. To be fair, the American Crow says discard an egg. Oh, wonderful. I'm glad to see you guys following each other and spreading out. Absolutely great. Right. We're going to pop down the Canada Goose, pay that food, spend the egg from the American Crow, and that finishes our turn. We get 1 turn left. Now, first round, we get 8 actions, and we need to get bonus points for putting eggs on birds with flat nests, or piled nests. There's multiple sorts of nests. We're going to take grain, because that's better for us. You got flat nests, bowl-shaped nests. Draw for the deck. Oh, we got another gull. Discard an egg to draw 2 cards. Oh, yep, great. Stick nests, hollow nests. Oh, that's actually really good. We've got all 4 sorts of nests up here. The 5th sort is this star. A star is a unique nest. The sort of bird that lives in those nests counts as everything else, regardless of anything else. Yeah, see on training. You go back to training. You're at work. You're at work. Go pay attention. Make those notes. Learn how to do your new job. Congratulations, by the way. But we're going to pop those eggs in. So we're going to put 1 on the Canada Goose, and we don't have any other flat nests. So we're just going to pop it on the Mourning Dove, because the Mourning Dove can hold 5 eggs. So it's a good egg repository. Eggository. For the bonus points this round, first place gets 4 points. Second place gets 1 point. Third place gets none. All 3 of us were tied for first place. So first and second and third all get tied, and they then average out the points. So 5 between 3, round down to 1. We now need to start getting birds with egg-shaped nests with eggs. The difference in round 3 is it's just eggs in stick nests. It doesn't count for number of birds that have it, it's just the total number of eggs that have it. Draw another egg card. It's a barn owl. Now the barn owl has a hunt ability. It's a hunt ability because it's got this skull and crossbones, which is when you activate it, when you take that action, you roll all dice not in the bird feeder. If any come up as mammals, you gain a mammal and cash it on this card. Cached food can't be spent, but it still counts as a point at the end of the game. Now this is situationally very, very useful because when there's 4 dice not in the bird feeder, each dice has a 1 in 6 chance of becoming a small mammal. So across the 4, it gives you a 5, 25, 125, 625 over a chunk. Sorry, that's not very helpful, is it? Let's go for it's 1 in 6. No, it's 5 in 6. 5 in 6 to the 4. It's about half. It's about a 52% chance if you have 4 dice not in the bird feeder, but you'll get a single mouse. Oh, but you will get at least 1 mouse, which isn't really worth doing it, to be honest. Okay, we now need to start putting out some bowl-shaped birds, just off that random diversion into maths. Don't worry about that, it happens sometimes, I get distracted. Do we have any birds we can pop in the egg-laying area? The reason we want to look for the egg-laying area is because if we pop birds down here, we can lay more eggs. Franklin's goal is discard an egg to draw 2 cards. We're gonna pop down Franklin's goal. Franklin's gull is a star, which means it counts as every sort of nest. It eats anything and fish. Thankfully we had fish and we had grain. So we can now do 2 eggs, and we can spend any food to do a 3rd egg. If we get a second bird out into our grasslands, we can do 3 eggs as a single action. Any bird we play here will cost us 1 egg on top of the food. So we're going to draw. We're going to draw 2 foods by discarding the woodstock, because the woodstock costs 3 food. Yeah, scrap that. We're going to draw a grain, and let's see what else we can pop in. So this chestnut collared longspur, draw 2 new bonus cards. Those bonus cards are the bird counter or the wetland specialist. So those are quite good. We don't have any other grain to pull. We don't have any other invertebrates to pull. So we can start thinking about maybe putting in the ruby-throated hummingbird to gain bonus, bearing in mind the ruby-throated hummingbird also has a bowl-shaped nest. So that takes anything. So we'll take the pomegranates, berries, because they are quite useful for a chunk of birds. We're going to tuck the brown pelican, because the brown pelican has a when it enters the battlefield. When played, not enter the battlefield. The birds don't fight. We're not that sort of bird sanctuary. When the brown pelican enters play, you gain 3 fish. That's kind of useful, except it costs 2 fish. So in effect, you gain 1 bonus fish for 4 points. It's not bad, I suppose. It's not great. Now, the brown-headed cowbird. When another player takes the lay eggs action, this bird lays 1 egg on another with a bowl-shaped nest. That's very nice for us. You hate ports. In general or in your current game, Riley? If we want to pop the brown-headed cowbird down, we need an egg. RuneScape, I see. Fair enough. So we choose food from a bird feeder. There's only fish. If all the dice in the bird feeder display the same sort of food, you can re-roll. This is like learning math language. That's fair enough, fair enough. Birds are really cool. I think birds are fascinating creatures. Wouldn't have bought this game anyway. But board games are... I love board games. I bought this game for someone I know in real life. I bought it for Blackbug, and we played it a couple of times and really, really enjoyed it. But Blackbug doesn't actually live that near to me. So we played it a couple of times and then I left. I was like, well, I want to play it again now. Had a look on Steam, see did they have a tabletop sim version, and they've just got a raw version on Steam as well as for tabletop sim and Tabletopia. I have Table Sim, don't have Tabletopia, but I have tabletop sim, but apparently the Wingspan version for tabletop sim isn't very good. It's completely manual for everything. None of the macros are set up correctly, which makes it a bit of a problem to play. Now, we're going to play the brown-headed cowbird. We're going to spend the grain, the yellow food, and we then need to spend an egg. We're going to spend it from a mourning dove. Now, whenever any other player takes any lay egg action, we can put an egg on any bird that has a bowl-shaped nest. Now, we've got the yellow-rumped warbler, which would be good for this round. We've got nothing down here. Franklin's gull. Franklin's gull counts as every single sort of nest, which means anytime anyone lays an egg, we can drop an egg on Franklin's gull. We can then discard that egg to gain 2 bonus cards. Very nice for us. If we pop down the ruby-throated hummingbird, here. Again, that's another bowl-shaped nest. We're not going to do that though, we're going to draw 2 cards. Let's have a pull from the deck. Clark's Nutcracker. That's it, I don't care about that. Yellow-billed Cuckoo. When another player takes the lay eggs action, this bird lays 1 egg on another with a bowl-shaped nest. That would be useful, but we've already played one this turn. So we're going to discard a grain to tuck 2 cards from the deck behind the Canada Goose. So because we are drawing cards, we get to activate all our draw cards, our waterfront birds. The Canada Goose, we feed it, and its flock grows by 2. It's now worth a bonus 2 points for a total of 5. We're going to lay an egg on the Mourning Dove, and we're going to discard that egg from the Mourning Dove, and we are going to use it to gain a grain. Because at least this way we've got a consistent, every time we run it we just gain 2 points, infinitely. Ideally we want to get something else in here. Gain from the birdwood, gain the grain. Ideally we want to draw something else to help us win the game, which is what we're pushing for now. We can cycle. We lay on Franklin Seagull. So we can now cycle for cards quite effectively. We can spend this egg to draw 3 cards in the hope of getting powerful ones to put down. I say powerful, the birds themselves aren't powerful, but we can get effects that can stack really nicely and help us build super strong engines. So we're going to spend an egg from a Canada Goose to draw 3 cards. We're going to spend a grain to tuck behind it, lay an egg on the Mourning Dove, discard an egg from the Mourning Dove to gain the grain. The 3 cards we drew. The American Bittern. When activated, players with the fewest waterfront birds draws a card. That's not going to be us. Another egg on Franklin's Gull. And all players draw from the deck. And the Anhanger. The Anhanger, roll all dice not in the bird feeder. If any are fish, gain a fish and cash it. We also gained the King Grail, which is draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1. And the Osprey, which is when activated all players gain a fish from the supply. Have a quick check. If we can get another bowl-shaped nest, we can get a lot more points. It's actually worth our while pushing to get a bowl-shaped nest, which is going to be the put the ruby-throated hummingbird down, spend the grain, we're going to spend the egg from Franklin's Gull, and the next turn we're going to pop some more eggs down to fill up. We only had 7 actions this round, because each time you, in the physical board game, you have 8 cubes. When you finish each action, you put that cube to indicate what you've done. When you finished the round, you put a cube on the scorecard here to tell you how many points you get. Which means next time, you only have 7 cubes to spend. We drew American Avocet. Whenever another player takes the lay eggs action, this bird lays 1 egg on another with the flat nest. Again, that's kind of useful because you do get points for eggs at the end. This time, not massively. I'm going to take these 3 eggs action. 1 on Franklin's Gull, 1 on the ruby-throated hummingbird, and 1 on the Mourning Dove, just to start building that back up. Discard eggs. Yeah, we'll discard from the Mourning Dove, I suppose. Doesn't get us any bonus points this round. And we can then draw 2 cards. So we're going to draw from the deck, Spotted Sandpiper. All players draw 1. It's not bad for us, but it's not good. And the Profonotary Warbler. Again, it's not terrible, but it is pretty terrible. But it's worth 8 points. So, but he's kind of useful. Now, Oh, here we go. We get to lay another egg. We're going to pop it on the hummingbird. And we have... Sorry, I didn't mean to click out of that. No, show me here. So because we were tied for first place, first and second got added. So we got 7 points total. Divvied between the two of us, that's 3 points each. Third round, we need to start having total eggs in stick nests. Multiple eggs on one bird count, and star nests do count. So we want to find a good way of getting extras down. We want to get some extra nests. If we have any star nests, I don't believe we do. Have a quick scan through. Okay, we've got no spare star nests. We did have Clark's Nutcracker, Yellow-billed Cuckoo, Osprey, and Hanger, American Bittern. Okay, so spotted sandpaper. All players draw 1, and we had 1 that was draw 2 bonus cards. Here we go. King Grail. Need 1 of anything, a fish, and a invertebrate. Okay, so we're going to draw 3 cards. Let's draw 1, 2, 3. In the hope that we get something good. Draw 1 from a bird feeder. We are going to go first, and we are going to pick the 2-sided base, pick the invertebrates. We're then going to discard a grain to tuck 2 behind the Canada Goose. Canada Goose is now worth 6 points because it's a big flock of them. Lay an egg on the morning bird, discard the egg on the morning bird to get a fish. Which means we can then probably fill up this row, or wherever it was that that one was going to go. The cards we drew were the Song Sparrow. If this bird is the right of all other birds, move it to another habitat. That is actually exceedingly strong. If you pop the sparrow here, it costs 1 egg. You can then activate this row, and you will gain 2 food rather than 1 and discard a card. You can then move the sparrow down here, so we could potentially then draw 4 cards next turn. But I don't like doing them. I'm not a huge fan. What have we got down here? Spotted Sandpiper, King Rail. So we're going to pay all of this, spend 2 eggs from the hummingbird.
King Rails declined 91% from 1966 to 2014 due to habitat loss and pesticide runoff.
And we now get to pick another specialism that we as a player have with our bird sanctuary. So we can go with an anatomist, birds with body parts in their names. If we have 2 to 3 birds, you get 3 points. If you have 4 plus birds, you get 7 points. Well, we have 3 birds, so we're currently on 3 points. If we can play another one, we get a bonus 4 points. Or birds that can only live in the prairie. We have 1 bird that can do that. We can get a maximum of 5 birds in the prairie, which means we can only put 4 more in. Which means all 4 of our prairie birds would have to be prairie only to get that 8 points, which is so limiting, on top of which we're nearly on the way with anatomist. So we're looking for a bird that has an anatomy in its name. Here we go, scissor-tailed flycatcher. So if we pop the scissor-tailed flycatcher down, we get 8 points because I would lay an egg on here. We get to lay an egg. Oh, we get to 8 points from it. Also, because it's a bowl-shaped nest. Oh no, bowl-shaped nest was last turn. Ignore that bowl-shaped nest bit. We get 8 points, plus we get 4 points from getting our bonus. So that is worth 12 points. That's super useful. We're going to discard the Song Sparrow. And we are going to... Where have you gone? Scissortail, we need a fruit and 2 grubs. We're going to take the 2 grubs. Took the American oyster catcher because our waterfront is now full. We have no space in our conservation sanctuary for any more waterfront birds. There's no space at the inn. Off you go. Got a card, and we drew a black skimmer. That's got a really weird beak. The bottom is longer than the top. And that's just done. We're hoping someone activates an ability to put more... to give everyone food. It might not happen. If it doesn't happen, we've got a way of getting that food anyway. Here we go. Each player gains 1 from the bird feeder, starting with a player of your choice. We're going to pick the red, because we need the red. And that means we can now cast that bird. Lay an egg in Franklin's Gull. Scissor-tailed flycatcher. In you go. Pay all this. Spend the egg from Franklin's Gull.
Scissor-tailed flycatcher. The mating display of these birds involves aerial acrobatics that show off the long tail.
Can you guys hear the description of the birds when the narrator is talking it through? Is that coming through okay for you? Or is the music overpowering it ever so slightly? I say ever so slightly, but music is probably overpowering it quite a lot. Barely. Okay, let me... what have we done? Let's grab this, open the volume mixer. The Wingspan's already on maximum, so we're going to turn the pretzel down a little. Because we're going to turn you all the way up. You can stay down. You down. I'm going to turn my headphone down a little. Minimize that. But thank you very much. Thank you very much for confirming. 2 turns left. 2 turns left, and we need lots and lots of eggs in flat nests. Now, great thing about the cowbird and Franklin's Gull, we can kind of cheese that by putting eggs in a star nest, which counts, sort of. For purple gallinule, everyone gets to draw a card. Cedar waxwing has a flocking, and if you do flock, gain 1 pomegranate. It's not a pomegranate, it's just a berry from the supply. So, we just want to put some eggs out. We want to put eggs out in stick nests. We're just going to pop them on King Rail. Everyone can gain a invertebrate. We're not going to discard that egg, we're going to skip it. Because we don't want any more bonus cards at this point. We've got sufficient cards for now. But we're not yet winning here. We're going to need even more eggs. Thankfully, we can lay 4 eggs this turn. Because we can discard the food we got from the scissor-tailed flycatcher last turn. We lay another egg. Admittedly, it has to be on a ball-shaped nest. We're going to lay 4 eggs by discarding that invertebrate. We're going to use that invertebrate to encourage breeding season, I guess. On the crow, the mourning dove, and the king rail. Everyone can gain an invertebrate, and we're going to skip discarding an egg. That puts us in the lead. That puts us solidly in the lead, unless you decide to lay eggs. Don't you decide to lay eggs? I don't think he laid eggs. He didn't lay eggs, so we're in the lead. We get 6 points. Pop it on this guy. So we get 6. These guys only get 2, because they split 3rd and 2nd place. This is really going in our favour. We've placed first each time. So we're getting a ton more points from this. We're also getting a couple of points from having our flocking. We're getting quite a few points from our anatomist bird watching, because we're getting 7 bonus points from this. That We can draw a load of cards if we want to get more flocking on this. Thank you, Nightbot. Stay hydrated. The blue-grey gnatcatcher is kind of useful in that you get this bonus food. We're going to go for the grey. Paying back that food for no one else is a really solid choice. Do we have any birds? Pop on the flycatcher. Okay, we're now after trunk nests. Now, up here, we don't have any trunk nests. In here, we don't have any trunk nests. And down here, we don't have any trunk nests. So we're going to have a quick skim through our birds. We've got the barn owl, which needs 2 small mammals. We've got... Have we only got the barn owl? We have only got the barn owl. Okay. Well, we're going to draw 4 cards. We're going to discard from the king rail. 1, 2, 3. Bell's Vireo. Bell's Vireo, welcome to the team. We're going to gain a dice from the bird feeder. Let's see, Bell's Vireo, what do you need? You just need grubs. So I'm going to go first, and I'm going to pick the grub. The reason I'm going first is because that one is useful for me, whereas any potential other ones might not be useful. We're going to lay an egg on the morning dove, and we're going to skip drawing that supply. So each time we take this action, we gain 2 points from a Canada goose and 1 point from a mourning dove laying an egg. So this just gets us 3 points. Every time we take this action and spend the needed 4 turns left, and spend the needed resource, we get 4 points, which makes it ever so slightly better. Every time we take the... do we have any up here? Yeah. Every time we take this action, we gain food, which doesn't actually give us any points at all. We're going to pop Bell's Vireo in. Costs 2. Yeah, no worries, Omnius, no worries. We're talking about birds. It's completely fine to put me on in the background, or just to disappear. We're going to spend from the yellow-rumped warbler. And here we go. We got our wildlife gardener, so birds with bowl-shaped nests. If we have 5, we gain 4 points. If we have 6, we gain 7 points. Well, we have a good chunk of birds already for this. Next turn, if we play another bowl-shaped nest, if we had enough food, we don't have enough food, it would gain us 3 points. It would cost us 1 point because we're spending an egg, so it gets us 2 points, which is not bad. Plus, it gets whatever the cost of the bird is. So, for example, the blue-winged warbler would get us a total of 10 points if we could cast it. We don't have the food. We might get lucky and get that food. If we do get that food, that blue-winged warbler is going out. We didn't. Okay. Lay an egg on... No, we're going to lay an egg on Bell's Vireo, because Bell's Vireo is all sorts of nests at the same time. You know what? We're going to... here we go. We're going to spend food. We're just going to spend that free. We're going to... don't skip. Need to actually lay the eggs on the yellow-rumped warbler. We're going to gain the invertebrate. We're not going to discard the egg because we don't need those bonus cards right now. We've reached a point where we don't need them, so we're going to skip it. And we can then play the blue-winged warbler, get us that bonus 10 points. Spending the eggs from the yellow-winged warbler. Do we have anything else? We do not. No. Okay. So... we lay an egg on you. Pop the blue-winged warbler in. Hooded warbler would also be not bad. Got a nice beard. hood. I suppose it's a hood because he's the hooded warbler. And we're spending the egg from the yellow-rumped warbler because Bell's Vireo gives us bonus points.
Blue-winged warbler. This warbler especially likes to nest on the edges between forest and fields.
And we then have one turn left. We can put 3 eggs down. We can put 4 eggs down now because we're just going to claim the fish. Because it doesn't matter what we spend. We're going to lay another egg. We're going to lay an egg on do we have any? Yes, on you. Okay. Do the 4 lay eggs, spend the fish. Right, we're going to lay... There we go, 4 eggs. We're not... Oh yeah, I suppose we'll gain it. We're not going to discard an egg. We're going to skip that step because an egg is worth 1 bonus point. And that is the end of the game. We're all out of action cubes. We're all out of rounds. Now we're going to see just how well we stack up. I'm going to assume not very well at all. We got trounced in this round. We get 0 points. We did absolutely terribly. Because we only had 2. That's fine. Only having 2 points, only getting 2 would have won in the first 2. I didn't pay enough attention to what was going on in the late game. And here we go. So this is just for raw bird power. So Franklin's goal is worth 3 points. This is our total score for the birds we have. The bonus cards, so due to the flocking, we have some, not loads. Hopefully we can pull ahead on these eggs. Oh no, okay. And look at that, we came in second. So we had a good bird sanctuary. We broke 100, which is something I try to make sure I do. But we didn't manage to get all the way through to win. We're 7 points short. I don't want to save that game. So, we're ready for round 2. But before we go in, let me tell you some interesting facts about birds. Of course, if any of you want to chime in with any bird facts you have, feel free. And if any of you want to join in, now is a perfect time to let me know. So let me pull up the introduction to the bird feet. Now this is the developmental origin of zygodactyl feet and its possible loss in the evolution of passeriforms. This is a study published in 2014 by the Royal Society by Joao Francisco Botelho, Daniel Smith Paredes, Daniel Nunes Leon, Sergio Soto Acuna, and Alexander O. Vargas. So we're going to skip through the basic bit, the abstract. We're going to read the actual introduction because I think this is kind of interesting. Of course, to help you out with this, let me post a link to pictures of bird feet so you can see what the different sorts of bird feet look like. So, differences in the morphology of the foot are among the main factors that allow the specialisation of the avian leg. Birds have loads of different sorts of feet, as seen in this picture that we've linked into chat. The ancestral condition to extant birds was a 4-toed cursorial foot, so all 4 toes pointing forward, but functionally tridactyl because only 3 feet touch the ground, as observed in non-avian theropods. The anisodactyl foot, where digits 2, 3 and 4 are orientated forwards, whilst digit 1 is oriented backwards, like a thumb, evolved in early avi by the retroversion of the hallux. In extant birds, modifications of the anisodactyl foot produced similar morphologies independently in several taxa. So this is saying that the same sort of feet evolved multiple different sorts of birds. Several families reduced or lost the hallux, among them Paleonaphis, ostriches and allies, Rallidae, or rails, Mirandonorphits, so flamingos and grebes, and Charadriae, plovers, sandpipers, and other similars. Palmated feet with webs between the digits evolved in many species of aquatic birds, and further anatomical variation was generated by changes in the orientation of the digits. So zygodactyl feet have the digits 1 and 4 oriented backwards and digits 2 and 3 oriented forwards, so big thumb, or their big finger and their little finger, except on their feet, but you don't have 4 toes, you've got 5, pointing backwards, and their middle 2 fingers pointing forwards. You see this in parrots. But this exists in cuckoos and parrots and woodpeckers, and evolved in all of them independently. Some birds are semi-zygodactyl and can change the orientation of the 4th foot, so like turacos or ospreys or owls. So owls have a 3 toes forward, 1 toe back, but their 4th digit can become a 2nd thumb, sort of, at the back of their foot. An arrangement that is functionally similar to zygodactyl, heterodactyly, has evolved in trugons, where digits 1 and 2 are orientated backwards and digits 3 and 4 are orientated forward. And finally, swifts have a pamprodictyl foot, where all 4 digits go forward. And I find this fascinating, this convergent evolution. You see it in multiple things. So flight, I suppose. Flight is a very obvious one. Flight has evolved in insects. Flight has evolved in mammals, in bats. Other flying mammals don't fly, they glide. And in birds. In all of these, it has evolved separately. Bats are not more closely related to birds than they are to other mammals. Insects are not more closely related to, or flying insects are not more related to birds than to non-flying insects. I don't think you can get non-flying insects. Someone will probably chime in and tell me you can. Feel free to. I'd love to get your input on this because this is fascinating. I love reading through these scientific papers. I love giving this information out to you. But convergent evolution, I think, is super fascinating because it implies that there is a very solid evolutionary reason for whatever it was to happen. It's just come across multiple different ways. So with birds, you have the feathers. In mammals, bats, but I suppose in gliding mammals as well, and we could potentially talk about it in sea-based mammals, because whilst they don't fly, they swim, and that's kind of similar to flight, but through a denser medium, so they can be heavier. There's an evolutionary mechanism, we just haven't found it yet. Have you heard of zoo tier list? Let me drop the bird tier list into chat. That is Tier Zoo. Now, I have heard Tier Zoo is apparently a bit of a dick, or he was involved in NFTs or something. He upset some people for something. I only saw it pass across my dashboard on my phone when I was on the way to somewhere. I didn't manage to get. You've seen this person. Fascinating videos talking about evolution as a video game. And each species as players working the meta. But convergent evolution implies that there is a best solution to things. Now, flight has also disappeared out of birds. The kakapo, for instance, the famous kiwi, I should use the actual country's terminology, the famous New Zealand parrot that can't fly. Chickens, I think the longest flight people have seen for a chicken is 16 seconds. Penguins can't fly. I got really frustrated as a child going to the zoo and being told, oh wait, no, penguins fly through the water. Like, no, that's swimming. That is swimming is entirely different to flying. There are similarities in that you are suspended in the medium. Ostriches can't fly, thank you. Yes, you're right. Ostriches would be terrifying if they could fly. Because ostriches only have 2 toes. But that's not why they're terrifying, but ostriches only have 2 toes. This came up in my research into bird feet earlier today. Yeah, if ostriches could fly, that would be absolutely terrifying. About the only thing worse would be a cassowary. Because if you ever see a cassowary, you can see the dinosaur in them. Absolutely. Let me pull up a picture of a cassowary for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. You will think I am lying about this being a real bird, but here is a cassowary on the beach. We're going to copy image address and we're going to add you as a browser source. Bird. This is a Casserari. Note it is on the beach, completely unbothered by the people around it. Note the lightning-coloured head, the giant spike for headbutting things, the half-turkey hostage, yeah. Or, of course, if we wanted to, we've talked about bird feet quite a bit, so here is another bird foot. That is the Casserari's foot. That's just a velociraptor foot. That terrifying. Yeah, some pterodactyl in there. Apparently, the closest living relative to the Tyrannosaurus rex, based on gene analysis, is the ostrich. How true that is, I don't know. We're going back too far. We need a new mass extinction. No! No, birds are super cool. Birds are super cool. But they are also kind of scary. I'm quite glad I have never met a cassowary in the wild, because wow, would that be horrifying in the Welsh hills and valleys. But that's enough about bird facts. Let's hop into another game. I've not had any pings from anyone. Let me just pull up Discord. Nope, no pings. No pings on here. No pings on Twitter. So we're going to hop into another game. Happy to postpone if anyone pings me in the next couple of seconds, because I understand you guys are on a slight delay. We're going to scrap that game. But if I don't hear anything, we're going to go and dive into our second game. We have 2 medium and 2 easy. Once I can consistently win, I'm going to up it to perhaps 1 hard. Even turkeys are dangerous. Yeah, no, most animals are dangerous. It's not limited to the dangerous ones. All of them are dangerous. They're wild animals. Okay, this time our 4 objectives are eggs, total eggs, not eggs on species, just eggs in stick nests. Round 2, eggs in the woods. Round 3, eggs in the waterfront. Round 4, eggs on hole nests. Oh, here we go. We've got the common raven and the scaled quail. The common raven, discard 1 egg from any of your other birds to gain 2 food from the supply. Scaled quail, lay an egg on this bird. So you can see we have a nice way of gaining food here. We're going to pick these 2. And we're also going to pick the purple martin. Now the purple martin is a seabird. It's also a prairie bird. It also has a tuck a card from your hand behind this bird, and if you do, draw another card. This means it'll be very, very nice at getting us. And that's really great. It's going to be very, very nice for card acceleration. We don't have to burn those cards, but we can. Now, we're going to pop in the scaled quail. We need 2 more food to get the common raven out. And we need an egg. Laying an egg will get us 3 eggs, because we're getting to pop 2 on the... We're getting to pop 2 from the egg action. And then the scaled quail fires, and we're going to lay an egg on it. We're then going to pop the common raven in. Common raven is going to really help get us with a ton of food. We gain a single grub. Now that grub means we can take a food. We're going to take the grub, and we're going to hope that we get a free food. We didn't. Okay. Right, pop the common raven down. And here we go. We have now got a nice start to a powerful engine. We can pop 3 eggs down, 4 eggs down, 3 eggs and 2 food. So 3 eggs. Nice and simple. Discard an egg from the scaled quail. And we're going to draw a invertebrate and a grain, because these are nice common foods, and then lay an egg on it. Have a quick check down here to see if there's anything interesting that we want to draw. And we have another one we could be interested in, the tree swallow. Oh, we'll draw. I'm going to pop the purple martin in. Play that food. It doesn't cost an egg because it's our first waterfront bird. We don't need to try and stabilise the population by spending eggs from our previous populations. It's a very nice, simple way of doing it. And we need some eggs in stick nests. Now, if we have a look, winning is on 2. So what we want, really, is stick nests. So we're going to draw, and we're going to spend an egg. We're going to spend an egg from the scaled quail. Scaled quail is basically just food at this point. For a random card, spotted owl, and for broad-winged hawk. Now, a spotted owl is 2 mice to gain 2 new bonus cards, so we're going to scrap that and draw another card. Downy woodpecker. Play another bird into the same habitat to pay its normal cost. I didn't like this the first time I saw it, but it's a nice way of getting 2 birds out in a single time. We need 2 food. We need to be able to play the downy woodpecker and the broad-winged hawk. But we're just going to pop those eggs in, try and push us up the rankings here. We've got 2 eggs, which puts us in joint first. Discard from here, and we're going to gain a mouse and a second mouse, and lay an egg on the scaled quail. We drew for first, so we average out the 5 points between 3 of us. It gets 1 point each. We now are going to be popping in birds into the forest to try and start working on getting these bonus points. Going to play, pay an egg from a scaled quail.
This hawk is seen more during migration than while it's in the forest interior.
So the broad-winged hawk has a hunting ability. We get to roll all the dice not currently in the bird feeder. If there's any small mammals, then we gain one and cash it. Kind of useful, but not something I'm massively after. And we also are now going to work on drawing. We're going to spend an egg from a scaled quail to draw 2 cards. Now, ideally what we want is a card to go into the forest. So the cedar waxwing would kind of work. It's got slots for 3, and we can tuck cards behind it, but we don't have anywhere near enough food. We're just going to draw another random one. Common grackle. Tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, also lay an egg on this bird. That is perfect. That is perfect for us. Get rid of you. Draw a card. Acorn woodpecker. So the common grackle. The common grackle is 2 food, 1 of anything and 1 grain. So because it takes grain, it takes us into 3 birds that eat grain, which gets us closer to bonus points. Tucking a card behind it and laying an egg, each time we activate it, it's worth 2 points. We're going to drop it down here. Now, I know I said that we wanted to put eggs into the forest, but we actually get this boost to drawing. We get this 2 cards rather than 1 in an egg. We don't have to tuck a card if we don't want to. We can skip it, but it means we can keep our hand a little bit smaller. Similarly, the red-winged blackbird does exactly the same thing. So we're going to draw 2 cards. Take for a red-winged blackbird and a random card, the American oyster catcher. Well, we don't want to be an oyster catcher, so we're going to toss the oyster catcher. Lay an egg. And we're then going to tuck the acorn woodpecker, because that costs 3 grain. We're not going to be able to get 3 grain very easily. We're going to draw another card. A roadrunner. Roadrunner. Meet me. It has a hunting ability. Whenever you use the prairie that lay eggs, look at a card from a deck. If under 50 centimeters, tuck it behind this card. If not, discard it. So the Roadrunner can hunt things that are nearly the same size as itself, but not exactly the same. Bigger hunters are universally better hunters because they can hunt up to bigger sizes. Now, we want to try and get some more eggs up in the forest, and we also want to consider getting some eggs in the... Oh no, we don't need that many. Okay. We're going to lay 3 eggs, and we're going to pop them up here. Discard an egg from the scaled quail. We're going to draw 2 grain, I guess, and lay an egg on the scaled quail. And that has popped us into the lead here. So 2 turns left. I'm comfortable not putting more eggs into the forest. I want to start putting more birds down here. A red-winged blackbird. Tuck a card behind your hand. If you do, also lay an egg. So we can now, when we've got spare eggs on it, we can draw 2 and an egg for a bonus card, tuck 2, which gets us 2 points, and gain 2 eggs, which gets us another 2 points. That's 4 points. 5 points for tucking another one behind here. 5 points, and we get 1 card up. So that's a very powerful hand here. We're going to go for spend an egg from the scaled quail. 1, 2, 3. Fish crow! Discard an egg from any of your other birds to gain another from the supply. So the fish crow is really good. It's just not quite as good as the common raven, because the common raven is 1 egg for 2. We've drawn 3 cards. Tuck a card. Well, let's have a quick check. The white-faced ibis has a hunting ability to roll dice in the bird feeder. We don't like that card, so we chuck that in. And lay an egg on the blackbird. Common grackle. We're going to chuck the nuthatch behind it. Now, the nuthatch does have 3 slots for eggs. Oh, does have 3 slots for eggs. Yeah, we're going to get rid of a Roadrunner, because the Roadrunner is a stick nest, so it doesn't help at all. It's prairie, so it doesn't help at all. It doesn't eat corn, so it doesn't help here, so we're going to get rid of the Roadrunner. Whereas the white-breasted nuthatch will get us points in round 4, and corn, so points on this. And we lay an egg, tuck the fish crow, and draw a random card. Carolina chickadee. Again, the Carolina chickadee will get us those bonus points towards the end. Probably. And there we go. We draw for first, second, and third. Average out to 2 points. So we now want eggs in the waterfront. Now, eggs in the waterfront, super easy for us to do, because we've got quite a few birds down here. We're going to not discard an egg. We're going to skip discarding an egg, and we're going to lay an egg on the quail, because the quail is a nice, easy one to pop those eggs onto. Quails are another one of the ones that I believe have zygodactyl feet. Yes, the quail has a... quails can become zygodactyl if you give a... Oh no, quails have similar feet to budgies, but if you give budgies a muscular problem, you hit them genetically in the wrong place, then budgies, or the right place I suppose, if that's what you're trying to do, budgies become zygodactyl because of the way that the muscles pull on the toes during development, whereas that doesn't happen with quails. Now this is more a collation than the actual full doing the research. It's pulled together, I believe. Now, drawing cards, not great for us. Have a look at eggs. We're 5, we need to get ahead. So pop these on. 3 eggs. Pop them on here. Discard an egg. We're going to discard from the red-winged blackbird. We're going to gain 2. We're going to gain, let's go for 2 worms. Lay an egg on the common quail. Now the reason we did this gain 2, we discarded these 2, is we can now, or equal, but when we do this action, we can tuck cards and gain these ones as bonuses. Planning ahead, see? Everyone gains 1 worm. We're going to spend an egg. We're going to spend an egg from the scaled quail. We're going to draw 3 cards. Okay, discard. Eric's wren. Let's chuck you. Lay an egg. Yellow-billed cuckoo. Well, the yellow-billed cuckoo you don't help at all, so we're going to chuck you and lay an egg. And chuck a card. Let's chuck the grey catbird. Now, the catbird is kind of powerful. The catbird allows you to repeat a brown power on another bird. So you could do the red-winged blackbird, common grackle, or purple martin, again, on that bird, not on the catbird. But we don't have many that that's particularly useful for, so we're just going to draw again. Brown-headed cowbird. So we now have 3 more birds, which takes us up to 7, which is nearly enough to get maximum points from our bird feeder. Might be interesting. Everyone gained from a supply. So we're going to whack down the Carolina chickadee. Costs 1 of them. Spend an egg from the broad-winged hawk. Next turn, we're going to pop down the white-breasted nuthatch, and we're going to spend from the downy woodpecker and the broad-winged hawk again. Yeah. Because we've got 9 birds here. Oh, you're beating us. How dare you? Right, okay, we're going to spend an egg from the blackbird. 1, 2, and the bush tit. We're going to tuck the northern flicker, because this has a enters the battlefield effect, which, as I've said before, we're not too worried about enters the battlefield effects. Lay an egg on the blackbird. Tuck a card. Vaux is swift, yep. Can't lay an egg on the bird because it's already full. And we're then going to tuck the brown-headed cowbird to draw another card. Common nighthawk. Common nighthawk can move from area to area. Kind of useful if you want to boost up and get the super powerful ones. We could drop it in somewhere cheap and move it over somewhere more expensive. That doesn't really help us particularly. Oh, Franklin's Gull. I want Franklin's Gull, but I don't want Franklin's Gull enough. Oh, do I? Do I? We draw 1 from the deck. Snowy egret. Okay. Now, we can't do it. Can't get enough birds in. Sucks. Ah well. Gonna play the bush tit. Bush tit has another one of this. Tuck a card behind this bird. Spend from a common raven and the scaled quail. Bush tit has a unique nest. It's got 5 slots on it, but it's only worth 2 points. This is how they try to balance the birds. So these 2, the common grackle, costs more food, slightly more points, but can also go anywhere than the red-winged blackbird, even though they have the same ability. About 1 difference in eggs gets us a 3-point difference here. That's not good. That's not good, chat. Okay, it's our turn. Now, we've not got any interesting birds to pop out, so we're just going to draw 3 birds. Stella's Jay. Stella's Jay doesn't have a tall nest, we're going to chuck it. lay an egg on bush tit. We're also going to truck the great horned owl. We can't lay an egg. And the king rail. Why get rid of eggs from those other birds instead of a 2 here but get 3 eggs? Because I wasn't paying attention. But welcome, Zridar, to the stream. It's nice to have you here. No, that was just me not paying attention, because I probably should have done. And we're going to tuck the Nighthawk because I'm not planning on using it. And we're then going to draw a do we want a random card or do we want the Hermit Thrush? So the Hermit Thrush will be able to count towards the end goal here because it's a unique nest. But it doesn't eat grain, and we have a possibility of getting a grain-eating bird. Oh, we got a cormorant. Okay. So the cormorant is another part of the wonderful that you can get set up with the blackbird or ravens or any of the corvids and any of the laying eggs. If we popped it with the common raven and the mourning dove we had last time, we could pop them all on the draw cards. We can draw cards, spend an egg. No, it's just been a long week. I've got to be honest, it's just been a long week. But you are entirely right. We're going to play the King Grail. Going to spend all this food. Now, we don't have any fish, but you can spend 2 of any other sort of food instead of something. So we're going to spend 2 invertebrates instead of a fish, and then a fruit here. Going to spend those 2. And, oh, we don't have, I guess we're going to go with birds with bowl-shaped nests. But Widar, welcome to the stream. I hope you've had a good week. Are you a fan of birds? Are you a fan of Wingspan? Or have you just found me randomly through the board games category? I'm a huge fan of Wingspan. I kind of like birds. Are we all game from the supply? Okay, we're now going to do this 3 cards. We're not going to spend an egg. We're just going to draw the Hermit Thrush and then 2 random ones. Red-bellied woodpecker, good enough. Chuck a card. We're going to get rid of the cormorant because we have no spare coastland left. Lay an egg. We're going to tuck the stilt. Found you through board games. Fair enough, fair enough. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here. And we're not going to... got 2 turns left. Yeah, we're going to chuck the Hermit Thrush. Playing it. And... well, we've only got 2 turns left. So we're only going to be able to put 1 in and then lay eggs. So we're going to get rid of the red-bellied woodpecker because the red woodpecker is less points than the white-breasted nuthatch. And you're indifferent about birds. Okay, no, fair enough. I think birds are fascinating, but I understand... oh, but that's better. Yep, you are a better bird, except you don't eat grain. It's understandable. I think birds are fascinating. I like looking at British birds because I'm British. I live in Wales. We get all sorts of birds in the garden. I think it's wonderful to see how they interact or don't interact with each other. So, 2 turns left. We can play a bird and then next turn lay eggs. So we're going to pop down the nuthatch. We're going to spend the eggs from the broad-winged hawk and scaled quail. And then next turn we're going to lay eggs. Now, I don't know whether we're going to beat 100 this time. Hopefully we will. But we're now draw... okay. Okay, well, time to lay eggs. We all gain from the supply. Lay eggs. Okay. This is only the number of bird species that have tree nests. I haven't played the European expansion. I didn't know that there was any expansions for it until after buying the Steam version, which doesn't have the expansion available. I'm going to pop on these 2 because they are tree trunk nests. And do we have anyone down here? We don't. So we're just going to pop you on King Grail. Is the European expansion any good? We're not going to discard an egg. We're going to skip it. And we're going to then lay an egg on the scaled quail for that 1 bonus point. I've heard that the European expansion adds not just European birds, it adds interesting other things to do. There we go, we got 3 bonus points on top of the next best, which is the chicken. The chicken is an easy player. I don't know why the chicken is consistently quite good, whereas the owl is not doing well, neither is the jay. I know what exists. So the base game for Wingspan is American birds. It does also include birds that don't live purely in the USA. Wow, you played a lot of birds, dear dude. But it has primarily birds that are in the US. There we go. Oh, 83 points. We didn't beat the 100, but we still win. Congratulations. Can we get some thumbs up or claps or a favourite pog emote in chat? I think I've got a thumbs up emote. I do not have a thumbs up emote. I do quite like the Ikumi. I don't know whether any of you watch Ikumi, but I like her thumbs up emote. And we know we like the pogging emote and Typica. Who's Typica? Typical cute fox. Oh, I've never seen them before. Never seen them before. But that is game 2 over. So, time for more bird facts. Because of course we're here for birds. We're gonna fill your brains with those bird facts right now. So, interesting bird fact, semi-interesting bird fact. Number 7 or 8, I've not kept track of them. Vultures. Vultures have an incredibly acidic stomach. The bald turkey vulture has a stomach acid pH of less than 1. It's 100 times more acidic than a human stomach acid. It is more acidic than car battery acid. It kills pretty much everything that comes into contact with it and can actually dissolve steel. If you put bits of a shovel inside a vulture's stomach, either by feeding it to the vulture or because you're a mad scientist and you have decided your mad science is going to involve feeding birds weird things, the vulture will start to digest the shredded shovel. Yes, it's stronger than sulfuric acid. It's incredibly strong. It is less than pH 1. It's to the point where you can't actually measure how strong the acid is. Yeah, no, it's stronger than battery acid. Turkey's vulture's stomach acid has a pH only slightly above 0. You can actually feed turkey vultures botulism. Just feed them botulism, which is just poison, and anthrax, which is just poison, and yeah, they'll just be fine because their stomach acid dissolves it completely. They can live on poison, basically. There was a problem in, I believe it was India. There was a massive vulture die-off. This was something I saw at the zoo. It was before I was born, so in the 80s, 70s era. And the vultures died off. I don't know whether they were being hunted, whether there was a vulture plague, although that seems weird because they're so good at eating stuff. That meant that there was a lot of carcasses about, because the vultures would eat things. The fact that the vultures were not around to eat the corpses meant that other things would eat corpses, such as feral dogs. This then meant that the feral dogs got the anthrax and died, or contracted botulism and died, and super spread the diseases. Because as a predatory animal, they would be eating from multiple animals, And then so they're more likely to catch it. They get it in a high concentrate, they die, they pollute the local area, their entire pack gets it. Whereas vultures were just like, yeah, no, I can eat that. That's cool. Yeah, go for it. Give that poison to me. I will chow down on that. They completely decontaminate what they eat. Botulinum. You're right, I do. Botulism is the disease contracted from it. Okay. So yeah, they can just survive on the disease-ridden flesh. It's no problem whatsoever. On the other hand, if you were to give a turkey vulture antacids, they wouldn't be able to eat this. Apparently, this is... I'm not a doctor, I'm not your doctor, this isn't health advice. If you go to a foreign country where you are not used to the food and you are not used to the standard strains of disease, avoid taking antacids because it makes your stomach acid a bit less, and therefore you are slightly less resistant to any contaminants in your food. If you were to give a turkey vulture antacids, they would not be able to eat all the rotten flesh that they do. They would die of the poisons and contaminated flesh. Again, that goes back to that weird, what mad scientist are you that you're feeding antacids and shovels to your pet vultures? But I suppose even twitchers need their hobbies. Twitchers, by the way, is the name for bird spotters who are interested in rare birds only. They're not interested in going out and seeing how many seagulls or cormorants or pigeons they can spot. They're interested in getting that rare bird that is only there once a year. But I would also potentially call myself a twitcher because I come on Twitch. Words that have multiple meanings, or I believe that's homonyms, are confusing. Especially if your English is a second language, or whichever language it is you're speaking. It's very confusing. No, we don't save that to the archive. But I think we're now ready to roll into our third game of the night. We're going to just again go through the custom game. Unless anyone wants to join in, ping me Discord, Twitter, Twitch. I do have a couple of pings on Discord. I should probably check those out. No, none of them are DMs. Don't have a game sadly. No worries, no worries. It was just in case anyone wanted to play. We've got plenty of time for people to join in. Everyone's on Tabletop Sim. Yeah, it does cost on Tabletop Sim. It still costs to get the Tabletop Sim version. And the reviews for the Tabletop Sim version were pretty appalling. Yeah. I mean, it might be on Workshop, but it's... I don't know what the Workshop view is on ones that have been officially released for Tabletop Sim. But there is a paid version. It's from Stonemaier Games. Stonemaier Games are fantastic. You should check out a ton of their stuff. A lot of their games are built by fans of board games and by fans of what they do, of the actual game. So this game was built... Oh, can you? Well, that'd be good. Abstract. Do you have the game or are you just buying it now? Don't go and just buy the game. You're welcome to. I enjoy playing the game. Having other people playing the game is always great fun. But don't feel you have to. Can I get other people to join in? Human. Oh no, I think you just know for $2. Okay, fair enough. Online. There we go. The top score this week is 135 points. So, custom game. Right, let's add in invite a friend. Should probably hide that so you don't see. Is it gone? Game capture. Turn that off. Combination of don't spend any more money, just can't be bothered. Fair enough. That's completely fine. Let's have a look. Where have you gone? Right. Well, let me know when you're back on Abstract, and I can send you a ping, or I can invite you as a player. Put 50 quid on your electricity and for machine 850. Oh, that sucks, Riley. That absolutely sucks. I hope you managed to make the most of the rest of it, and it doesn't happen again. That absolutely is not cool. You're in from back tomorrow, which I have a meter reading. Good, good. Yeah, we had a bit of a trouble. When I was at Wizard University, we had a bill came through for £15,000 over midsummer when none of us were in the house. So we missed the first warning, and then we called them up to say, you're sending us a bill for £15,000. I went, oh, yeah, that doesn't sound right, does it? We checked it out, and the previous technician had written a 1 instead of a 7 on one of the readings. So we went from what they had as 31,000 units of gas. We were on 37,000. And we went to 38,000, or however many it is. I don't remember which figure it was. But they'd transposed a 1 and a 7 or something like that. And it meant we managed to figure it out. Okay, let's invite a friend. Right, I've got you added. And then let's get AI easy, AI easy, AI easy. I've sent the invite to you, Abstract. You should be able to join in shortly. If anyone else wants to dial in, 1700. Yeah, exactly. Be prepared, you don't know how to play it. You mean you've not been paying attention? Oh no, Abstract. That's why I put a line through your 7s. Yes, very much so. That's why I put a line through my 7s, through my O's to separate, or from my 0s to separate them from my O's, and why I split my 4s so that they are on the very leftmost and all the way over, so they don't look like my 7 through a line through. You've been working on your overlays, chatting in between. Ah, fair enough, fair enough. That is kind of a good thing to be doing. Making sure you get all your overlays set up and ready to go. Do I not have the game up yet? I've just been having it hidden because I realised I probably shouldn't be showing my friends list. I've got some actual IRL friends on there, apparently. Didn't know that. But let me know when you are in, and we should be good to go. I'm going to put the goal mat on the simple one, and we're going to put the order on fixed. Now, the simple goal mat means you just get a number of points equal to that goal up to 5. You're in. Good. Good. Okay, so I've got 72 hours. You might hop back into tabletop. Good idea. Yeah, good idea. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to walk you through what I'm planning on doing here. Abstract. In my starting hand, I have 5 birds and 5 food. I can choose what I want to keep. Now, the Chihuahua Raven, discard 1 egg from any of my other birds to gain 2 from the supply. I like that normally. However, it costs 3 food. On top of that, we've also got the California Quail, which is free food to lay an egg on this bird. It's free food to do it. That's not very good at all. The Yellow-billed Cuckoo and the Bronzed Cowbird lay eggs on other birds. And then we also get points for eggs in flat nests. Second round we get eggs in the water birds. Third round eggs on stick nests. And fourth round birds with bowl-shaped nests that have eggs. Doesn't matter how many eggs. And you can get up to 5 bonus points per round. You can't get more. If you have 7, you get 5. If you have 2, you get 2. If you have 5, get 5. This is a little bit more easier than for a competitive ranking where it's 6, 3, 1 and 0. Now, you know what? I'm going to keep the Chihuahua Raven. I'm going to keep the California Quail. And we're going to keep the Bronzed Cowbird. And we're going to go for the rat, small mammal, scrap the cowbird. Rat, this and this. I now only need 1 food to play my California Quail. Because the California Quail needs an invertebrate or green and 2 yellow or corn. So I'm picking a green and invertebrate and a corn. I'm also picking a rat for my Chihuahua Raven, which I suppose I could technically play straight away. In fact, I might do that. My bonus cards, I pick one of these. I've got birds that can only live in the prairie and birds that eat anything as my two options. Now, the California quail is one of my picks already, which means I can only get 4 birds with the prairie manager, so we're going to go with the omnivore expert. That potentially has a higher cap. Now the multiplayer has a 72-hour game turn. You can take 3 days between each player's game, and that is completely acceptable, apparently. So we're now just going to wait for, it's currently on you, Abstract, to pick your, can I go and see your hand? Can't. Okay, I can't see your hand, so I can't let you know what it is that would be helpful for you to do. But what you should be thinking about doing is picking a bird that you can cast within the first couple of turns, because it costs 2 or 3 food that you are all different. And you should also be considering whether you can get any bonuses from them, from making them overlay with each other. Now, I understand that that might not always be possible, so don't worry about it too much. But feel free to give a yell in chat, or I suppose ping me on Discord as well. I do have streamer mode on, so it's not going to be yelling at me, but I can hop into my general. In fact, what I can do is if I hop into OBS and let me go into studio mode, grab from my source store. Do I have it? I don't believe I do have it anymore, it's gone. Oh, okay. Well, that kind of sucks. Okay, let me go and grab it in here. I can go and grab my Fugi link. Oh, are you done? Oh, you're done? Okay. Well, I was going to authorize this. And let's grab this, go into OBS, and we will add in a browser. Come out of studio mode, add a browser. I'm going to call you Fugi. Okay. There we go. Prop you up. Where have my legs gone? Put your legs, Lieutenant Dan. Not Lieutenant Dan, it's me. Go on. Line up properly. Get in your hole, as Adam Sandler said. There we go. There we go. That's better. Okay, and now I can hop back in here, and I can hop into my... Here we go. I am in my general, if you want to hop in there. If you need to chat through any of your decisions, Abstract, feel free to not. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing now, we're just going to play with Chihuahua Raven straight away. The Chihuahua Raven has this discard 1 egg from any of your rough birds to gain 2 from the supply. So we're now 3 turns away from getting the California quail because we need free food. Alternatively, if we had anything down here to give us a bonus, the black-billed magpie, I do like the black-billed magpie in general, because black-billed magpie is whenever another player successfully hunts, you gain a food. In a 5-player match, such as I tend to play, that makes it very, very likely that another player is going to have some attacking birds as everything goes through. So you have a high possibility of gaining that bonus food. It also can work as a deterrent for certain sorts of birds. It means that other players, and this is more getting into the meta game, other players are less likely to want to play birds of prey because you get a bonus from it. So when you're going to actually be playing with real people around a table, it doesn't have to be around the table, you could be playing online, they're more likely to avoid it, especially if you can stack up a couple. Doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes they're completely willing to do whatever regardless of your plan. But it's always a way, I suppose, of attempting to guide the game and getting bonuses from other people playing things. Always something nice. Check what's going on. There we go. Okay. What did you do? You've played for Northern Harrier. Here we go. So the Northern Harriers fly low over marshes and grasslands seeking prey. This gives you a hunting ability. I see. Let's look at my cards. Now, because we know Abstract now has a hunting ability, I'm going to take that black-billed magpie. Because getting that bonus from whenever anyone plays a hunt, that's really, really nice, because Abstract has got that on his lay eggs. So whenever anyone lays eggs, we gain. Whenever he lays eggs, he can hunt. Whenever he hunts, I get that bonus food. That bonus food means I need to take less actions on gaining food. I can just do it myself. I'll do it through the black-billed magpie. Again, nice, easy way for us to start moving through the game. Now, the black-billed magpie can only go in the prairie, so we now have 3 of our 5 prairie birds locked. But we do have 9 possible places to put in eggs for round 1, and we have 6 for round 3. We have no way currently of getting any eggs into the waterfront. We could draw from the waterfront birds, but the waterfront birds that are there are not very good. But I say they're not very good. I don't.
I'm struggling a bit here.
Okay, yeah, no worries. What is it you are struggling to think on?
That's my question. How do I get more food for the habitat?
Okay, so getting more food is done by the trees. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you've got purple, green, yellow, blue.
Yeah, the different habitats, right?
Yeah, so green is the forest. If you scroll up and down, or if you click on the forest, that will take you to the forest. Here you've got 5 floating rectangles. The leftmost has a single dice in it, and then you've got a dice with a card pointing to another dice, and then 2 dice with a card, 3 dice.
Okay, and those require eggs then.
So putting a bird in it requires eggs. So the first bird in each habitat only costs for food, because all you need to do is have sufficient food to attract the bird. The second bird also then requires an egg, because the eggs are indicative that you have, a stable breeding population.
Yeah.
The third bird also requires a single egg. The fourth and fifth birds require 2 eggs each.
Okay.
So it does mean early on your food, you can only gain 1 food a turn, which is a bit naff.
Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna need to lay eggs then
Okay.
if I want to get more.
So the eggs is the prairie. Now, you can lay 2 eggs, and you could lay both of them on your Northern Harrier, which you've done. So you can now play your first bird in the forest would only cost for food, if you have that food. Your second bird would cost for food and an egg, but you've now got 2 eggs, so you can get it.
And if I use a bird, like it's pretty much gone, right? Like it's a one.
No, so once you put the bird into play, once you attract that bird to your sanctuary, yes, it's pretty much not able to move.
Okay, because I did use one bird, and if I use a little tab, I guess, to pop up the little menu,
Yeah,
I see the bird card is in the. I guess it's like a plains sanctuary, the yellow one.
yeah.
So it's like stuck in a slot there now.
Yeah, so that bird is there forever. You have the Northern Harrier is your first bird in the plains.
Yep.
Now, I wouldn't play more eggs because you've got nowhere else to put those eggs.
Mhm.
What you could do is draw a card. Now, you could draw any of the 3 cards that are visible. So you've got the blue, this is being for waterfront, so you'd need to scroll down. You've got the blue grosbeak, which is able to move from habitat to habitat. The black-necked stilt, which when you play it, you draw 2 more cards. And the mountain chickadee. The mountain chickadee is you just gain food and cash it on this card, so that's bonus points at the end of the game.
Okay, yeah, I see now.
Or you can draw a face down card from the deck, which is a random bird from somewhere in the Northern Americas. I mean, if we had the expansion, it would be from the Northern US or Northern Americas or Europe. They haven't done any further expansions yet. I was hoping that they would do expansions for all the different continents. The Antarctican one would be interesting. It's just penguins.
And what's like the goal? Is it to have the most birds? Is it go
So
by
the goal is
eggs
to
or
have the
something?
most points at the end. If you have a look
Are
on the birds, the
feather?
blue grosbeak, the black-necked stilt, and the mountain chickadee, the
Mhm.
grosbeak and stilt are both worth 4 points each. The chickadee is worth 2 points because that's the number next to the feather. You also gain 1 point for each egg on a card, up to the cap. So the blue grosbeak can have up to 3 eggs, the woodpecker can have up to 3, the golden eagle can have up to 1. Oh, someone's drew the stilt. Now I'm going to draw some more food, and I'm going to draw another fruit. So there is a fruit and an invertebrate left in the tray. When they all show the same, so when there's only 1 dice left or there's 4 rats left, that's when you can re-roll them and potentially get fresh stuff appear.
So how do you increase the capacity for eggs?
There's no way of directly increasing the capacity of eggs, so you have the Northern Harrier.
Mhm.
The Northern Harrier can hold 2 eggs. That's
Yeah.
it. It can't ever have more eggs than 2.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, you can tuck cards underneath it, which makes it sort of like they're getting more, but not quite. Right, I'm going to chuck down the black-billed magpie. I don't have enough eggs. Okay, I need to lay eggs. I need to pop 2 eggs on the Chihuahua raven. Can't discard any eggs.
Yeah, if I tuck a card underneath the Harrier, does that
So
I guess activate the card or
each card you have tucked underneath the Harrier gives you a bonus point. So the Northern
Yeah, well-
Harrier, whenever you do the lay eggs action, you will look at the top card of the bird deck. If that is a small bird, the Harrier kills it and gains a point. So your
Okay, well,
Harrier is now worth a total of 4 points because it's got 3 standard and a flocking of 1, plus 2 points for the eggs, so it's worth a total of 6.
Okay. So to activate a bird, I'm gonna have to throw it into one of the slots, right? When you press tab.
Exactly, you're going to have to pop it into
Okay.
one of these slots. You've got 15 slots, you can't ever have more than 15 birds. Not sure why you'd ever want to have more than 15 birds, because that would be a very, very busy bird sanctuary. I mean, I suppose you might want to have lots of sorts of birds if you wanted to have some sort of zoo, but just a bird zoo. I'm pretty sure most zoos around here actually have more than 15 sorts of birds in. But yeah, no, ignore my rambling. You probably do want lots and lots of birds.
All right, so I have
The spotted sandpiper. So now whenever you draw a card, because your waterfront you have covered the first card. You can also spend an egg to draw a second card, if you'd like.
gotcha.
Then the spotted sandpiper activates and all players draw a card. So you maintain a card advantage, but not a card advantage against everyone.
Okay, does the sandpiper only work if I do anything in like the water sanctuary? So
Yeah.
only if I draw a card.
The sandpiper will only trigger when you draw cards.
Okay.
Each of the birds only activates when you do that row. So the sandpiper for you will only function when you draw cards. The harrier will only function when you lay eggs. You don't have anything in your woods, so nothing triggers when you fire the woods off. You can build all sorts of engines with the different birds in this once you start layering the effects. So for instance, I've got the raven, which is discard an egg to draw from a supply. If I pop the California quail down as well, then this has a lay an egg on this bird, then discard an egg from any other bird, which means I'm gaining eggs. And if I spend because I'll be on my 4th egg, I can lay 3 eggs and spend 1 resource to lay a 4th. So that's 4 points. The California quail lays an egg, that's 5 points. And then the Chihuahua raven discard an egg, that's 4 points to gain 2 from the supply. So that gives me 4 points and 1 bonus resource each time I do it, which is a relatively solid set to go for. I'm going to lay. Now, if you, on the top, you can click the blue puffin, which is me, to see what actions I'm going to be doing. Or to see how my layout is. I currently have 2 birds in my prairie, but nothing anywhere else. I'm going to pop 3 eggs on my magpie. That's because this first round, we get bonus points for having eggs in a flat nest. The magpie, as it is a unique nest, gets these bonus points regardless. I'm then going to discard an egg from the magpie, and I'm going to draw a mouse and a grain. Now this means that next turn I can play a card into the... Either I can play a card into the forest because I've got a hawk, which costs 1 rat, or I can do this again, lay some more eggs to gain more food to then pop out the California quail. Now, if you have a look in the draw section, there is the American crow, is the middle card. So the American crow has discard 1 egg from any of your other birds to gain 1 from the supply. This is, I find, a very powerful ability because you can play it into any of the different areas, and if you pair it up with anything that generates eggs, you can then start gaining food. You can also just pop it into the egg laying area and just use the eggs generated from that. Sorry, just let me finish this out.
So for the points, which is, I guess would be the eggs and the feathers in total,
Yeah.
that only counts for cards that have been played, correct?
Yes, it doesn't count if they're in your hand.
So what is with the in cards at the top right? Like right now it says in eggs or
Right,
in,
so there's 4 different rounds each time. And it'll say what the bonus points are. So in the first round, you get bonus points for having eggs in any birds that have that as their nest icon. So you get 1 point for each egg in any net on any bird that has that icon.
do we keep our birds from round to round, like whatever's
Yes,
on our hand?
yeah, your birds stay on the table, your birds stay in your hand. The 3 birds in the draw pile do not stay the same round to round, they get discarded and fresh ones drawn. But other than that, everything is static. Let me finish that. Okay, so I've got 1 turn left. This is my final turn in this round. So I'm going to lay, if I lay 3 eggs, I'm going to pop 1 on the magpie, 2 on the chihuahua raven. That fills up my egg slots. I'm then going to discard from the black-billed magpie. This costs me a point this turn because the magpie is a flat nest. But I'm then going to draw a grain and a worm. So next turn I can play the California quail down as well to start churning through more bonus food. It's now going to be better for me to lay eggs to gain food through the chihuahua raven than it is for me to draw food dice.
Okay, so I see it's not in the top right, it's not eggs in general, it's eggs with that specific nest type.
Yes, eggs with that nest, or where the nest is a star, because the star counts as everything.
Okay.
So personally, I don't tend to build much in the... It's also worth focusing only on 1 or 2 of your areas. You can pop birds everywhere, but it's worth trying to build an engine that functions in only 1 or 2. You often end up with 1 of the 3 zones is underdeveloped. And that's kind of expected. You're slowly understanding how to do the game efficiently, and yeah, no, it's alright if you whisper me. Oh wow, Fluff Daddy! Congratulations, Riley. And yeah, no worries, Omnius. I just got back to you, and I'm glad you're understanding how to do it efficiently. So here we go. At the end of round 1, I had 2 eggs in flat nests. You had 2 eggs in flat nests. The ibis or spoonbill had 7, so gains 5 points rather than 7 points. Let me pop you and turn on there. Okay, cool, it's not appearing properly. You love math, but bird math is hard. Bird math is kind of hard. Bird math is kind of hard. So, round 2 was 7 turns in each one. So you've played a ruddy duck. Now the ruddy duck is quite a good one, because it gives you that, you can now draw 2 cards. Then from the ruddy duck you draw a bonus 2 cards, so you can now pretty much just find whatever the hell you want without any difficulty.
I did what is it? I drew a card last time, and I believe the Harrier ate it because the bird was like, I think 130 centimeters.
Right, yep. So that's when you lay eggs. The Harrier will check the top card, and if it's small, it eats it. If it's big, then it just gets thrown away. You don't draw that card.
Okay.
But so the ruddy duck, most ducks in game, there's similar powers for similar sorts of birds, and pretty much every duck has a draw 2, discard 1. It's just a similar power for them.
I'm starting to slowly understand this now.
That's good. That's good. Now let's click back into my view so I can do my thing. Now, I'm going to draw a card, and I'm going to draw the Whooping Crane. Oh no, I'm going to go for the Turkey Vulture.
So if I hatched an egg in the previous round, right? So in the one specific nest type that we just finished up, the round 1.
Yeah.
And let's say, because I had laid 2 eggs in that previous round for that nest type, but it is also in the same sanctuary that this round is currently going for. Do those eggs count towards that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So you've got 2 on your spotted sandpiper. So this round you will get 2 points towards the finisher.
And I did get 2 last time from that as well.
You did, yes.
Nest type. Okay.
And if you put 3 on your ruddy duck, you will get 5 this time, because you would then have a total of 5 in the water, so long as you then don't spend them.
Well, I can't lay 3 on, and I can only lay 2.
Yeah, but the ruddy duck you can lay up to 5 on.
Yeah. You see that?
I think the most you can put on a bird is 6. Some of them have 0, but most...
Yeah, like the Whooping Crane, I just seen had nothing.
The Whooping Crane has 1, but the Whooping Crane has a score of 6 when you play it, and it eats free of any food, so it's quite easy to get out. Because as long as you got free food, yeah, it's good enough. They just eat anything.
Did I? No, I didn't. What?
So you have a relatively solid draw set, because you'll be drawing 4 cards or 5 cards and discarding 1 of them. But you don't gain any bonuses from doing that. That's great for finding cards, but it's not great for getting you... Oh, okay, there you go. You've pulled a ton of cards.
Yeah. Discard 1 card. So what is a brown power? Is that the when activated?
Yes, a brown power
Okay.
is a when activated, a pink power is a once between turns, and then there is a enters the battlefield, or enters play, sorry. Whenever you play the card, not enters the battlefield. Enters the battlefield is Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, I do see the California Condor that I have. It does not require any food.
Mhm.
Okay, so I could just like play that anywhere kind of thing.
Yep. Now, it might have an egg cost if you put it in the second and onwards slots. But what's the California Condor's ability?
Let's see. It's. I actually can't look at it right now. Why? Yeah, I'm not able to see the ability right now because of the AI thing covering my screen.
Okay,
So
right. So yeah, if you skip through that, let's see where I can pull it up here.
Okay. Draw 2 new bonus cards and keep 1.
Right. So drawing 2 new bonus cards are the cards you got at the beginning that give you bonus points. They are they are kind of useful. Right, I'm going to draw the Belted Kingfisher and finish. Bonus cards are effectively a free way of getting extra points.
Okay, so if I choose that okay, there we go. I was dragging the bird into one of my habitats, and it moved it immediately to the first one.
Yep, because you can only put it in the first slot. Well, until the first slot is full. Once the first slot is full, you can put it in the second slot.
Yeah, so it popped up in the forest, and I did not want to put it in the forest habitat, so I had to like select it differently.
Yeah, it can be a pain. This is apparently much better than the tabletop sim version on how smooth it is to play, but it is still a bit jittery sometimes.
What does 24% of cards and 35% of cards mean? Like at the bottom of the bonus cards.
So the bonus cards will tell you how many of the birds are eligible for it.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, I've got omnivore experts, which is birds that eat the colour wheel. So any bird that can eat any food gets me 2 bonus points. Now that's only 10% of birds can do that, but each one of those birds just gives me a flat out bonus 2 points. So my Chihuahua Raven isn't worth 4 points, it's worth 6 points. My black-billed magpie isn't worth 3 points, it's worth 5 points.
Okay. I don't have to play these cards, right? Like the bonus cards,
they just sit in your hand. They just sit in your hand, and you get those bonus points at the end of the game.
Okay.
Okay. Now someone did a hunt, and it was successful, so I get to draw a card. I'm going to draw a rat. I'm now going to play the Belted... everyone gains from the supply. I'm going to play a Belted Kingfisher. The Belted Kingfisher is a omnivore and fish, so I'm going to play with a rat, a worm, and a grain. Once between turns, whenever another player plays a waterfront bird, I gain a fish. So that gives me a total possibility with 5 players, 4 of them being other players, of gaining a total of 20 fish through the game. But if everyone does it on the same time, I only gain 1. Someone's done a hunt, so I gain food from the magpie. I'm going to pick a grain. Now there's 4 turns left, and someone played, so I get to gain a... Someone played a waterfront bird, I get to draw from the supply. Now I'm going to play a turkey vulture. Turkey Vulture doesn't require any food. It can be played into any environment because it's got forest and prairie and waterfront. It's only worth 1 point, but whenever another player's hunt succeeds, gain another dice from a bird feeder. This makes it very, very useful for me to gain bonus points through the game. For food, I don't need to worry as much about buying food. In fact, I can probably not worry about putting anything in the gain food. I'm going to gain one of them.
So, for the Harrier, right? If the card is tucked, what is that? What was that for? They can eat it. And
if the card is tucked, it's just hidden underneath the Harrier, and your Harrier is now worth 1 bonus point.
Okay, so that's what the little symbol to the bottom right of the card means.
Let's have a quick check on your Harrier.
It says 3 for the points, and at the bottom right, it's I think it's like a little bird. Like
yes,
a wing
right. So that little winged thing it's a flocking ability, which means it gets bigger and bigger.
Okay.
So you now have a flock of 4 Northern Harriers. So you get 3 points for your first Northern Harrier, plus 3 bonus points, because you get 1 bonus point for each tucked card.
Okay. Okay, I get it now.
That's good. Now I'm going to pop down a 3 eggs. I'm going to pop 1 on you, and oh no, we're going to cancel that. 1 on you, 3 on you. Select an egg. We're going to eat an egg from Black-billed Magpie. We're going to gain 2 rose food, I guess.
So when I'm looking at the forest habitat, I see the second column. It shows 1 piece of food, and I guess I can also turn in a card for food.
Exactly.
Or okay, so that's 2 food then, but one of them requires a card.
Exactly. So if you start, because you have a good way of card draw, because you're drawing 4 or 5 cards, you're drawing 4 net cards with your card draw.
Yeah.
You can then go for gain food and burn some of the cards you don't particularly want. So it does help then having those extra cards in hand. You can use them effectively this way. I suppose the only problem is potentially those cards might come in useful later, but because we know what the points each round are going to be, you don't need, it's not hidden from you. You don't need to worry quite so much about it. Whereas I know some games it will be very much everything's hidden until you get to the next round, which can be annoying.
So what is round 4? I see like a bowl with the wing. So just oh, that's okay. I see it.
You get 1 point for each bowl nested bird that has any eggs, regardless of how many eggs it has.
Okay, gotcha.
Right, we're going to pop 1, 2 eggs here. Bird egg into the Black-billed Magpie. I now have 5 eggs in the waterfront, so I'm going to gain 5 points, and we're going to pick 2 cherries. So I've now got a ton of food. Something went wrong. Please try again later. Oh, okay. Cool.
Did it kick you out of the game or anything?
It kicked me out of the game.
Oh, wow.
Well, that wasn't very kind of it. It's not in here, it's online. Let me join back in. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so you can come back. All right.
Yeah, it's 72 hours between turns.
Ooh.
It's set up for people who are very interested in going and watching birds.
You could leave the game and go to sleep and still come back.
You could leave the game and go on a short holiday and come back.
Yeah. Can have your whole weekend. Resume it back on Monday. Okay, I noticed some of my birds are highlighted right now.
in your
gone.
hand.
Oh, okay, they stopped. Yeah, that was weird. They were highlighted for a bit.
The ones that are highlighted are ones you can play in the environment you are currently hovering over, because you have enough food and enough eggs to cast them, to play them, not cast
So
them.
yeah, I did not have enough food for them. I would have required, I guess, cherries or for whatever that is.
So you can spend 2 of any food as if it was anything else. So
That's only in some cases, though, right? Like
Nope.
if it shows the color wheel.
nope, it's for all food. When
Okay.
you're summoning a bird, you can use 2 of any food as any other food. So the osprey, which is in the draw pile at the minute, requires 1 fish to attract it to your bird sanctuary. Alternatively, if you have 2 of any other food in any combination,
Oh, okay.
you
So
can
2 stuff.
summon it.
Got it.
So you can do it with a berry and a worm.
Okay.
It's a reasonable way of getting about it. It means if you don't get exactly what you need, you can fudge your way to it.
Close enough, yeah.
Excuse me. Now I have loads of eggs on my creatures, birds, for the next round, which is stick nests. I've got 4 on my belted kingfisher, and I have 1 on my black-billed magpie and 2 on my chihuahua raven. These are all eligible for next round, so I have sufficient points for next round. I don't need to worry about next round. I don't have any bowl-shaped nests, so I'm going to need to start looking to get 5 bird-shaped nests out, bowl-shaped nests out, and gaining those points. You have 7 eggs in the waterfront, which is more than you can possibly score this time, so you now don't need to worry about putting any more eggs in. I mean, you've not got anywhere you can put them, but you don't
Yeah.
need to worry about putting more birds into the waterfront to put eggs on.
No.
If you're ever uncertain as to what is a good one to go for, increasing the number of birds in your prairie is quite good, because that means you will be able to do more eggs each time, which means in the next round you'll be easier to max out your final score.
This is what turn is this? Like, is there a way to check what turn we
So
are on?
on the right hand side of the screen there's a blue cube, or it might be red cube for you.
Oh yeah. Okay, I see it.
That's
Turns
1,
left in this round.
so that means you've got 1 turn left this round. This is
Okay.
your final action this round.
Wait. Are we sure? 'Cause it's still showing the little loading thing underneath yours. I'm assuming you're the blue.
I'm the blue,
Bluebird.
yeah.
Yeah, it's showing the hourglass thing underneath yours.
Is it? Okay,
yeah.
let me...
Is it my turn?
It's showing it on mine under yours, but let me...
Yeah, no, it's showing under yours, and I can't do anything.
Okay, let me quit. Let me quit the game and reboot it and see whether that works.
Okay.
And if it doesn't, then I guess we're going to have to call it here. Online games are apparently finicky. Play. Online. Logging me in. My active game. Okay, yeah, it's showing my turn now.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, it's showing...
Should I try to exit out?
Yeah, but no, because for me it's showing your turn. Which means... I think I've just become desynced at some point. So I
Might
guess...
have been when it had the error.
Yeah, probably. But I guess
Yeah,
that means I'm just call it here.
Yeah. All right. I was say I could try leaving and seeing if that would
Yeah,
Do
we can give it a
anything.
go. Give it a go. See if hopping out and hopping back in fixes it.
All right. So go to main menu and then where?
So main menu and then quit and then just reboot the game is what I tried. It loads relatively quickly.
Oh yeah, don't doubt it.
So,
Honestly, the game was a lot bigger than I expected it to be.
yeah, there's a lot of birds you need to download. And if you don't have the game muted, you have all the bird song whenever you play them.
I'm back in the main menu. Where would I go to?
So you go to online game, and then it should have your games.
Yeah, your active games. There it is.
So we click into that one, and that should bring it back in.
Yep, there it goes. It's my turn.
Excellent. Glad we fixed that problem.
Huzzah!
Now, chat if any of you ever want to join in future. We're not always going to be streaming this. This is probably one of my chill out games. It's where I come when I'm feeling tired or when I just want to burn some time. So if any of you ever want to play Wingspan, give me a poke in Discord, and I'll happily hop into a game or two so long as I'm not in work or in the gym or doing something else. I'm going to re-roll that because we've got loads of worms. Let's gain some rats. So I've got the magpie and the vulture, which means I get 2 food every time someone does a successful hunt between turns. And whenever anyone plays I'm gaining 4 food a turn from not doing any action. Right, let's draw 2, and we're going to... I guess we should probably try and just draw some random cards and hope we get something cool. We've got the Snowy Egret, which has a hunt, a cache, and we got the American Redstart. When activated, gain a random, or gain 1 of anything from the bird feeder. Not bad cards. And there we go, the round is over. So you managed to hit the 5-point maximum.
Okay, so there's no need to go over 5 then, right?
No. No, there is.
Okay, so even at this round right now where I'm sitting at 5 exactly, there's no need for me to go.
Exactly. No, you can if you want to, but there's no reason to worry about it.
Okay. Oh, that'll just go for my total score, right?
Yeah, it increases your total score at the end, but you don't get that until the end of the final turn.
Yeah.
So increasing your score now doesn't help unless we were to terminate the game at this point and figure out the score manually.
Yeah.
Now, I believe as well, guys, we do have the guide the raid option on. Yep, so if any of you want to guide where we're raiding at the end of today's stream, that one is 5,000 channel points. I will figure out who we're raiding if not, because there's a couple of people online we could go to. I'm thinking we might try and raid Sarah, because she's online now, and fingers crossed she will still be online by the time we finish. Unlike last time. Yeah, she's doing some art. We do like going to art. It's nice to go chill to. I also could do with starting to plan ideas out, because we are now 5 weeks away from my 6-month anniversary of streaming. Which I know is...
Nice.
I know that's planning significantly ahead of when I need to. But I kind of was figuring I should probably start actually thinking about what I want to do. I'm going to draw some more cards. Right, I'm going to draw the Red-Eyed Vireo and the Cerulean Warbler. So the Red-Eyed Vireo is play another bird, and we get to do this for free. We don't have to... Well, it's not for free, we still have to pay, but we've got loads of food, so that's fine. We've got loads of eggs, so that's fine. And the Cerulean Warbler, which is draw 2 new bonus cards. Those bonus cards are a fantastic way of getting bonus points at the end. our Omnivore Expert gets us 6 points right now, and none of those are cards that we would have refused to play. They're all cards I wanted to put out. We didn't do anything silly to get them. But is one of the things, so the bonus cards get you a load of bonus points, but some of them are rubbish. Don't worry about working towards them. Because they will cripple you by playing that way. You will end up with a rubbish engine that doesn't work. It's one of the things I learnt to my detriment in Scythe. Right, let's pop in Red-Eyed Vireo.
I tabbed over real quick to see your stream or just like view your player, and you have so much food.
Well, so the reason I've got so much food is I've got the Chihuahua Raven. The Chihuahua Raven is discard an egg from any of your other birds to gain 2 food from the supply. So every time I was doing a lay egg, I was putting an egg on the magpie, eating that egg to gain 2 food as well. And I've got the Turkey Vulture, which is whenever another player's hunt succeeds, gain a food. I've got the Kingfisher, whenever another player plays a waterfront bird, gain a fish. And I've also got the Black-billed Magpie, whenever another player hunts, gain a food. So I've generally been getting free food each turn without doing anything.
Yeah, I've been scraping the bottom of the bowl here. Scrounging for whatever little bits I can get.
Birds worth less than 4 points. We're going to pick this because the other one is birds with a hunting power. We don't have any birds with a hunting power. We pick this, we put 1 bird down, that's an extra 3 bonus points, which is going to be worth spending the egg for it. It's just making sure we actually have a bird to play. It's birds worth less than 4 points, so less than, not less than or equal to. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can't put down the snowy egret. The red-shouldered hawk is a good one for us to go here. Ideally, we'd want something that can gain power, so it gains more from it. There we go. The magpie went, so we're going to re-roll and we're going to gain a grain. Because the magpie went, the turkey vulture also goes, we're going to gain the fruit. Play through everyone's turns. Spoonbill's taking his time. There we go, my turn. 3 turns left. So, I currently have 5 points to this game's finished round. There's no point me putting more eggs in these nests. What I want to try and do is draw cards to try and get bonus points at the end. And there we go. Perfect. The red-winged blackbird. When activated, tuck a card from your hand behind this bird. If you do, also lay an egg on this bird. So that's 2 points each time it fires. We need those cards to burn on it, but we can pop that into our prairie. We can lay eggs, and we'll also then be getting those bonus points from it. We could also potentially pop in the great blue heron down into here, and then also play the red-winged blackbird down here. But I would much rather try and whack out these bonus egg points of a red-winged blackbird. We're going to be firing a couple of times on that. Also, the red-winged blackbird seems like perhaps... that seems like a really lazy name.
Wait, what was the name of the bird?
The bird is called a red-winged blackbird.
Oh, okay.
And I think of all the birds to be called blackbirds, it seems weird that blackbirds are called blackbirds, because blackbirds are very unobtrusive in comparison to crows and ravens. You'd have thought they would just be the eponymous blackbird. There's a murder of crows live in the forest outside my tower, and they actually don't like our house. So they come and attack the windows when there's no one in the room. I've had to have words with them a couple of times. They go and stand at the window and try talking to them through it, and they go away for a while. Okay, spotted sandpiper. Oh, look at the house wren. Okay, so the house wren would get us pay that food. Spend 2 eggs from down here. Oh, they're going to pop the red winged blackbird in, pay the food, spend the chihuahua raven and the turkey vulture. And that's our turn finished. We've got a full prairie now. We also have 6 cheap birds. If we can get one more, we get a bonus 3 points. We don't. Oh, we've got 1. We've got the red-shouldered hawk, which we can pop in because that only costs a mouse. We've got 4 mice, or mammals, I suppose. Always good to get those. A ton of food. We got really, really lucky with our draw here. Unfortunately, all that food at the end of the game is worth absolutely nothing. Food is only worth points if it's cached on a bird, and I don't like caching food because you can't do anything with it. I suppose it's a decent way of getting those bonus points though. Right, so we need to have those points here. We're currently on 2. We need to pop 4 eggs, and we're going to spend a food. We're going to discard it. We're going to discard a rat. And it needs to be... Let's pop them in 1, 2, 3. We're going to pop those eggs on the star nests because it's much better for us to lay those on stars because stars count towards the final round as well. Now we're going to need to put 2 more birds, or 2 more birds with bowl nests. So we're going to need to do it once next time. Put in 5 eggs. So we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just to spread them widely, I guess. Then lay on the California, eat from the California, and whack down the red-shouldered hawk. No, whack out the red-shouldered hawk first. Because then we can get the big points from this, lay out the eggs, and then we can maybe start doing some drawing. What we'd like is if we could get some cheap ones for eat anything. Because if we can get omnivore birds, those omnivore birds will be able to count towards our other option. But none of them do it. The green heron down here, the green heron is very situationally useful. It's really annoying because he's so useful up until he's suddenly not. Whereas a lot of birds are very, very useful the whole way through the game, or just never useful. 11 birds. Spoonbill is storming ahead.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
We can't see everybody's. We can't see total points, can we?
We can see our own points.
Yeah, there's no way to see everybody else's though. Like, there's no.
Oh no, we can't see our own points maximum anymore. I could last turn. I could see my own.
If you click at the upper right, on one of the brown cards.
Lumin S, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for choosing me as a raid. Let me pop out the crystal ball and have a look at what you were doing. Oh, thank you. You were doing board games. What board game were you doing, Lumin? You've caught me playing Wingspan, which is a bird sanctuary building game. I'm playing with Abstract, one of my mods, and this is probably my last game for tonight. But no, welcome, and Omnius, thank you for saying hello to them. You're doing some Agricola and a wind-down patchwork. Well, I've heard of Agricola, I think. I don't know whether I've heard of Agricola or whether it's a quick check on Board Game Geek. How were you finding Agricola? Did you win? So Wingspan not dissimilar? Ah, yeah, no, I love Wingspan. I love Stone Mayer Games. I love Scythe. I found them through Scythe, which I found through Jacob Rodzalski's artwork back when I was on probably Tumblr. Goodness. That was a while ago. An old friend got me in.
Someone mentions it.
Tumblr's still around. Tumblr's still around, of course. But yeah, wow, it's been a while since I've been on Tumblr much. But we're just building our bird sanctuaries and getting absolutely smashed to pieces by the AI Spoonbill. I don't know how a Spoonbill is doing quite so well because they don't have very... Oh, I see what they've done. Yeah, we can click on the Spoonbill abstract and you can see that they have got the gull in the lay eggs column, which means that they can lay eggs and then discard that egg to draw 2 cards. And then the spotted Toei to gain those bonus food.
Mm-hmm.
And that suddenly means he's going to be storming ahead. I mean, it's only 1 food at a time, but that's still some food. And all those boosts do definitely help. Let's go back on.
Maybe if we throw enough birds into the battlefield, one of us will win.
Yeah, maybe if we could make our birds fight them. It'd be cool. I think that's the one thing this game is missing, the battle mode, where you can send your shoebills to go and fight the enemy.
There's this, when you keep mentioning throwing birds into the battlefield, it keeps reminding me of this game that's coming out. And I think it's like a World War I or World War II game. I think similar to like Battlefield style.
Right.
But it's called the Rotten Roach. And there's 3 sides. You're either playing as rats, roaches, or I don't remember maybe it was rabbits. It's really weird looking, but the art style is really nice. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like when it's released.
I'll have to check it out. So what I've done here is we're reaching the end of the game. We've got 4 turns left. I've laid eggs. I'm laying 5 eggs because I'm spending resources to do it. I'm popping them on bowl-shaped nests and on special nests to maximise my points for this round. I've got 5. I'm going to get my maximum of 5 bonus points. I then tucked a card behind the red-winged blackbird. This makes the red-winged blackbird gave me a bonus point and lay an egg on it for another bonus point. I'm then going to Snowy Egret because I'm not going to do that. Lay an egg on him. Now full. California quail gets an egg. The Chihuahua raven, which I want to lay another another bird. So we're going to skip burning the eggs for the raven's ability because that starts decreasing our potential total score. We're totally on 63. I tend to view it as a nice score if we can crack 100. This week's high scorer is on 135.
Ooh.
Last week's high scorer was 152. Abstract, you've got Brewer's Blackbird is all full. You've got your Ruddy Duck all full. You've done quite well. You've got loads of eggs out. One thing to bear in mind is when you get these birds, so like you've got your Brewer's Blackbird, which generates its own eggs quite frequently, you want to be trying to throw those eggs away somehow. Now, ways to consume eggs are relatively rare. The corvids have them. The killdeer has one. The killdeer has eat an egg to draw 2 cards, which is nice. My turn. 4 turns left.
It's nice that we can skip the AI though.
But the AI is so much quicker on this one than when you're playing against 4 of them. I was reading somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, that I think it was to do with chess computers taking turns, and apparently, if a chess computer makes its turn instantly, this really, really demoralizes people playing against it. So if it takes a random time between 8 and 15 seconds, or however long you've got it set for, it makes it feel more human and like you've got a chance, apparently. Now we are going to pop down the red-shouldered hawk. This costs 1 mouse and a single egg. This also is now my 7th bird that's worth less than 4 points, which means I get a bonus 3 points for playing it, which means it's effectively 6 points, 5 points because I burnt an egg on it. And now it's time to just fill up all my egg slots. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Really? 3, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We've got 12 turns to fill. We've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we can just fill this up now. Tuck 2 cards behind for red-winged blackbird. We can't lay those eggs on it because the blackbird is full, which is a shame, but we all get that. Repeat a brown power. Oh, it's Northern Mockingbird, I see. So Northern Mockingbird did the everyone gets that fruit. I'm going to spend the cherry. I'm going to put 5 cards on the house friend. 5 eggs on the house friend. Took a card behind the blackbird. Lay an egg on... Can I undo all of this? I can, right. I'm going to pop out the hooded warbler. Spend that food and spend the eggs from the red-winged blackbird.
This bird spends its time in the understory and nests within a few feet of the ground.
So the reason I've done that is now next time I can do this one twice. It gets me 7 more points, 5 more points because we spent the eggs. But I can make more use out of this laying egg here. So we can get 5, 6, 7, 8 points for doing this. And we got 6 points for laying it. So equal, but it makes our next turn better. I'm not great at the long-term strategy in board games, I have to admit. My engines often fail because I plan out 2 turns, maybe 3 turns, and then that's when my thinking stops.
I have played a lot of Sins of a Solar Empire, so my long-term thinking is smart. Like, I was sitting there thinking 3rd round, the first... I was like 12 steps. I'm like, yeah, this might be a better idea to do that.
Yep, I plan a little bit, and then that's good enough. We're skipping the Chihuahua Raven eating eggs because that's going to cost us a point, and we're not planning on playing any more birds. I continually call it casting it. Partly because when I was playing against Blackbug, we play a lot of board games and we play a lot of card-based board games, so stuff like Munchkin or Scythe or Wingspan. And we deliberately use the wrong terminology. It drives other people up the wall when we're playing Magic the Gathering, and I threaten to send him to the Shadow Realm by believing in the heart of the cards. It drives the other people we play with absolutely bananas. Which I think makes it super fun. But then we'll play Wingspan and go, right, I'm now summoning Turkey Vulture in attack mode. And I'm paying 3 white and 2 black mana to summon it. No, it confuses me, and I'm the one playing, so I should not confuse myself, to be honest. One turn left, so this is my final turn. and I'm going to lay 5 eggs. I'm going to spend a worm, pop an egg on here. There we go. Don't skip. Pop a final egg on Hooded Warbler. Got a fantastic beard. We're not going to tuck any cards because this card is worth 6 points. This card is also worth 6 points. Tucking them at this point doesn't help. Lay an egg. Not going to discard the egg, we're going to skip that. And that's it done. So Abstract, you have your turn, and then it's the Green Jay's turn. It's the AI, so it's going to do it instantly. And then we're going to find out just how much we lose by. I draw for my magpie. Yeah, I'll just take the grain. And I'm going to need to draw for my vulture. Draw some more grain, because that grain would normally be the good one to go for. Grain and invertebrates are very, very common foods to spend. If you get the choice, those are normally the ones you want to use to get the most ability on spending more birds, I guess. There we go. The owl did absolutely terribly that round. Spoonbill also did not do amazingly. So we're now summing up. So this is the total points for each bird. My Chihuahua Raven's worth 4, for instance. And the Spoonbill storming ahead. Spoonbill still ahead. End of round goals. Wow. Watch as the Spoonbill annihilates us.
Yeah, that hit the weekly goal.
Yep, didn't hit 100. Spoonbill absolutely annihilated us. I don't.
I didn't come last. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, no, you did good considering it's your first time playing. Definitely. It's a new game and there's a lot of stuff to get your head around. A lot of the Stone Mire games are really good fun. Now, they're complicated in that there's a lot of things to remember, but they're simple in that you only need to... But the rules don't interact too much. It's not like Warhammer 40k or something like that, where you need to memorize the rules for all the different things, and using your different birds in different areas has massive different effects. But it is still a bit complicated. Well, thank you all for turning up. I'm actually going to finish stream here. I do need to get up early for work tomorrow, because yay, weekend times. So, with that, hop on over to my ending screen. I'm going to have a quick check on who's live, so we can go raid someone. And we will have a look here. You're live. You're live online. Unless anyone's got any major suggestions, I think I know where I'm going to send you all. Close this and check. Is there anyone doing any interesting board games we can send you off to? I don't recognise any of these board games from a quick scan. So, in that case, today's raid message is raid, and we're going to go with I hope you're still online. Take 2, I hope you're still online. So here is your raid message. You can copy and paste that. If you're a subscriber, you can use the former raid icon. If you're not a subscriber, you can either subscribe, don't subscribe, I don't need the money, or you can donate 80 channel points to gain a emote for 24 hours for use anywhere on Twitch. Thank you very much, Abstract, for showing how it's done. You'll get 250 points for joining in on the raid, which means it pays for itself entirely. Now let me set this up. I'm going to go and raid Sora the Stegosaurus. Attempted to raid previously, and that did not work because they'd finished. But we're all done for now. So, thank you very much for turning up. I have been the Formologist. It's been my pleasure to host you for Wingspan this evening. My next stream is either going to be Monday or going to be Sunday if I do a guerrilla art stream where we try and figure out what my schedule and announcement posts are going to be for the week. I hope to see you there, whether you can make it, or the VOD perhaps if you really want to turn up there. Otherwise, I'll catch you around. Good night.
There you go. Red went through.